great football team. They didn't have enough people who are elite on this football team to get them over the hump to win a Super Bowl this year. I was foolish in throwing my money away the way that I did to you.
Well, and guys, they limped into the finish line this year. At least last year, you got a victory, and at least against the 49ers, they put up a fight. They had a chance to win. You looked at the team and said, if not for this or that, maybe, just maybe, you could have won. From start to finish, they limped through the whole game, literally and figuratively in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But you talk about a team that didn't look like they had any energy, any grit, any sort of commitment to one another or will to win. So many mistakes, so many issues, a lot that needs to get cleaned up this offseason with not a lot of easy answers.
800-990-3776 is the ESPN Wisconsin Carbless talk and text line. Less is more. 800-990-3776. The phone lines are open for you all show long. We're live on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee and at ESPN Madison. Now, this to me perked my ears up because as I hear Kyle talking about how, I let the green and gold glasses fool me. Here's somebody who played on the Green Bay Packers, who I think you respect as a football player, who talked to the media today. Here is what, I'm not going to name his name, a Packer player had to say.
Well, we certainly didn't win anything. The whole last few games that we played, you could kind of feel what was brewing for us. We just didn't finish. I wouldn't necessarily say that the season was a failure. We learned a lot about some of the individuals on our team and how these players can impact the future of this building.
That was the first cut from Tucker Kraft.
Wow.
The brewing part is what I want to go back to. But he also had this to say, encapsulating a lot of people's feelings. As Alex Strofe puts up the number one finger because he's the best.
Yeah, as a team, we need to wake up. I mean, how many times do we have to just, not everyone talks about how we're just not okay with just making the playoffs, but we have yet to, walk the walk.
You can feel what's brewing. You could feel what's brewing. I don't want to hear that from a player inside the locker room. I don't know about you, Kyle. I don't want to hear that he's saying, I could feel what was brewing the last 3 weeks heading into a playoff game.
I mean, I think that Chicago Bears loss, though we tried to downplay it a little bit, that one showed that this team expected to win that football game, and they had other issues. Going to last week where Jason Wilde talked about the Rashawn Gary and Xavier McKinney kind of trying to speak up in the locker room after. When Tucker Kraft says there was something brewing, there ended up being something in that locker room that harmed the unity of this team, right? Like, at the end of the day, the Green Bay Packers ended the season not cohesive, right? They ended the season having some type of breakdown in between one another, and it's interesting to hear Tucker Kraft be very honest about, we went into this game and yeah, we hoped to win, but based off everything around us, we knew we could not win. And that, to me, falls right on the shoulders of Matt LaFleur. If your team doesn't feel like they have a chance to win, if your team feels like there's some tenseness in the locker room, week 17, 16, 17, 18 is not the weeks to be having that. Matt LaFleur is his responsibility, his job to have the gauge the temperature, right, of his room, of his locker room, and he's supposed to fix it. Based off the comments from Tucker Kraft, that was not addressed, it was not done, and this is the result, and that is failure.
Tucker Kraft is not supposed to be saying something today that everyone was kind of thinking, but not wanting to believe. Because that's why I thought it was interesting the way Kyle started this, is like, hey, I was kind of fooled, like I got myself re-excited for this. But to know that in the locker room, that was a feeling that one of their core players had about what was brewing heading into an Eagles game. Brad, as someone in the locker room, I mean, I like that he was honest. I'm sure Matt LaFleur won't be thrilled about it, but I like that he was honest.
The hell with Matt LaFleur.
I mean, this is squarely upon the leadership of the team. That's Matt LaFleur. It's also Jordan Love, right? That's the responsibility of a new quarterback one, is to have that pulse for leadership. And guys, I've been a part of plenty of teams, and we're going to hear something like this that is not like what Tucker Kraft's saying, but guys saying, I can't believe it's over. We had such a special team. We had such a special run. We put everything we had into this. I didn't see this coming. That is what a lot of teams that are going to lose are going to say the Monday after the game. I was part of teams where it felt like everything was rolling all week, Saturday, Sunday into the game, and then you don't play a good game and just like that, it's over. But it's met with shock. With Tucker Kraft, he was not met with shock at all. It's almost like they all expected this to happen. That is a very bizarre comment for a team that is playoff bound. Most of the time, the good vibes, the rhythm, it's all going in the right direction. But he was basically saying, we've all felt like this for weeks now, and it was not corrected. That's a huge problem.
This was the snippet that I thought that was the most impactful from Tucker Kraft today in the media.
The whole last few games that we played, you could kind of feel what was brewing for us.
As Kyle would say, hell with that. Not week 17 and 18. Feel what's brewing? I mean, maybe, Strofe, do you remember Friday when we started the show? I was like, guys, we've been waiting for this. I started the show, I was like, this is a Friday before a Packers playoff game against the Eagles. You're like, yeah, I love that energy. You know why we probably had that energy? Because we all probably felt the same brewing feeling that unfortunately Tucker Kraft was feeling, and that's the last person in the world I want to have that feeling brewing within.
Well, it's a shame on Matt LaFleur because this is the youngest team in the playoffs in the league again. So maybe they don't know. Maybe they don't know how they should be feeling, the types of rhythms and positivity and belief in one another. But Matt LaFleur does. This is his sixth year, and he's gone to the playoffs 5 times. They've made runs into the playoffs, not very deep, but they've made enough runs. He knows enough about the game of football, the NFL playoffs, to know how guys need to be equipped mentally and physically to actually go to Philadelphia and get a win. If he was detecting that wasn't happening, that's on Matt LaFleur to identify and correct, and it clearly didn't happen.
See, this is what we have to understand. As I'm really, taking this all in, because this is my first time hearing this audio, this sounds like a guy in a team, in a locker room, that lost confidence. They lost confidence in themselves. They lost confidence in their teammates. They lost confidence in the organization, and they understood when they lost that game to the Minnesota Vikings, that broke them. They realized in the moment that they lost to the Vikings that they lost their 5th game to a team that's better than them. We're talking about the Vikings twice. We're talking about the Lions twice, and we're talking about the Eagles once at that moment. But once they lost to the Minnesota Vikings, do you realize what they figured out?
That were good, not great?
That they were fraudulent. They figured out they were a fraudulent football team. I called Matt LaFleur an imposter last week because sometimes he has imposter syndrome. This football team reflected that as well. They knew in that very moment that they were not real. They were not real competitors. They were not a real championship contender. And that is where we see the domino effect, where you lose to the Chicago Bears and you go into Philadelphia hoping to win, not expecting to win. When they went to Dallas, they expected to win that football game. Hell, when they went to San Francisco last year, they expected to win that football game.
Nobody felt it.
Yesterday, they knew if they won, it would be by a chance. It wouldn't be because they earned it and because they were the better football team. And that is the most disappointing thing as a fan, and more importantly for them in the locker room to understand that they were frauds this entire season.
I guess the self-realization from Tucker Kraft is identification of a problem. I think that's the only good thing I can take from that, which is not very good to hear that they could feel the loss brewing. But Stephen P. Walkie, I'm very curious. You think this is on Goody?
Thank you for taking my call. Yes, I do, in a large part. First of all, having the youngest team in the NFL is a choice. It's not a good thing. It's not a bad thing. Choosing to have a young team means you're playing the salary game and the low-cost labor and younger, cheaper talent. But it also means you're giving up experience. You're giving up, imagine this team if Bobby Wagner was with this team. It's being able to have some of those veteran leadership. We talked about the wide receiver room, how, there's no Devontae Adams to show these guys, not what to do, but how to practice and how to prepare. And, Jordan Morgan, he may turn out to be a very good quality offensive guard, but no one drafts offensive guards in the first round.
Well, I
Think of the
appreciate
names
the call,
taken out.
Steve. We just got to keep it moving. First and foremost, he was drafted as a left tackle, didn't win that against Rasheed Walker, and then the Packers do what they do with the offensive line and move guys around.
Well, I understand the importance of having some veteran players around, right? I am a believer in that, but the Packers have chose to go young. So more falls on the coaching staff to get them ready, but also how do you explain last year then, right? All last year we were saying, how are these guys playing so well? Everyone was saying they don't know any better. They're playing loose. They're just letting their talent play. So if that same core, which you now added Josh Jacobs, Xavier McKinney, plenty of other veteran leaders on both sides of the ball, they should be more equipped this year to go into a playoff game and play well. So I don't think youth is a really good excuse anymore. You have that for 1 year. For one year, you get to use the excuse of youth. This year, this team is plenty experienced in big games. They had plenty of them last year. They had plenty of them this year. There'll be people that go their whole career and don't play big games or playoff games. So just experience for the sake of experience doesn't do much. This team was young enough and has enough experience to be more than what they were yesterday, which was a hollow shell of a team.
800-990-3776 is the Carbless Talk and Text line. 800-990-ESPN. Jeff in the 920. Get used to being disappointed with LaFraud. Same old song and dance. Nothing changes. What you saw yesterday is what you will get from Matty Mouse.
I'll allow it.
Kyle, you'll allow my Matty Mouse?
I'll allow it.
You can be Stuart Little, Mickey Mouse. You can be whatever mouse you want to be, the mouse in the house. But Matt, the floor, the mouse, whatever y'all want to call him, he deserves that moniker until he proves something. The way this team just fell apart in the end, again, falls on him. You are supposed to be an offensive mastermind, and the display that you had yesterday was a complete joke. Your quarterback was never comfortable, never in rhythm for the majority of the season, and then the biggest moment of the year, he went out there and he laid an egg. And again, I blame Matt LaFleur. The youngest team in the NFL looked like the youngest team in the NFL yesterday, and that is inexcusable at the end of the year to be playing like that.
I see your calls, 800-990-3776. I see your texts as well. Tucker Kraft basically laid it out perfectly. He could feel what was brewing heading into the Philadelphia game. I didn't want to hear that, but I'm glad we did because we have clarity on where that fault goes to. And that fault, to me, as Kyle said, goes to the head coach. You can't have a week 17 and week 18 and then head into the playoffs with an opportunity in which the Philadelphia defense was great. But that was a game that you could have won. Did they play well enough to win it? No, but could they have with the right mindset, playing well, hitting it encapsulated the entire season. That's what's so disappointing is because this was supposed to be a year of taking a step forward, and now we're going to be 8 months of, well, what can they be? Because using evidence from 2023 doesn't really feel good based off the result of 2024. We'll take your calls. Kyle, Brust, and Nortman next.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN.
I feel like KBN Nation would agree, Kyle, that Ben has most of the issues on this panel.
I would agree that I have the most flaws on this show as well. Brad's freaking perfect.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com. What happens when you mix a 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year with a Packers Hall of Famer?
I'm not going to get into the Kringle turnover game, so that's what it needs to be. I think his legs... Yeah.
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Like the pastry
Are you guys being serious? You guys can't put two.
I got it. I did not get it.
They don't call themselves Racine Danish turnover.
Sorry. Sometimes I wonder about you too, man.
Catch him from 9 to noon right here on 94.5 ESPN, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Hey, it's ESPN Milwaukee's Kyle Walls for Universal Windows Direct. Universal Windows Direct is offering an amazing deal right now. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free. That's right. For every 2 windows you buy, you'll get 2 more absolutely free with no limit in 36 months of no interest financing. Plus, if you've already received a quote from another company, bring it to Universal Windows Direct and they'll beat it. Schedule your free in-home estimate today or visit universalwindowsdirect.com, and like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Winning in the NFL comes down to the basics, blocking and tackling. In retirement, the certainty of protection and income are the keys to success. And as a former NFL player myself, I have experience with both. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons. Having played on winning teams with the Steelers and Falcons, studying game films helped me mentally prepare for the challenges ahead. Now I star in a new Hollywood documentary called The Retirement Deception to help you visualize and prepare for your fourth quarter of life. You see, you don't retire on your nest egg, but rather the income it can produce. This film shows you exactly how to protect your retirement from stock market drops and produce more income than you thought possible. And it's free for you to view. Call 855-620-1801 right now for your free streaming code to watch The Retirement Deception. Don't risk your retirement savings at the goal line. You don't need to be risky to have a winning strategy. Call today to speak with an all-pro retirement specialist to get your free streaming code to watch The Retirement Deception. Call today. 855-620-1801. That's 855-620-1801. MitchLyonsWealth.com. Your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement.
UW Credit Union presents the Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org. Here's Ashton Rotman with the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
This week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week is Racine Lutheran boys basketball player Sam Pitroff. The 6'4" junior averaging 17.4 points per game this season, up a tick from his sophomore season, which saw him average just over 15 points a game. And of those games, a couple of big ones, back-to-back wins last week against Martin Luther and Dominican. 38 total points in those two games. The combo guard turning it over less than 2 times a game as well for the now 12-0 Racine Lutheran Crusaders. Pitroff, as a sophomore, finished second team All-Metro Classic Conference and is looking to top that with his 2024-25 campaign. Congratulations to this week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, Racine Lutheran Crusaders boys basketball player Sam Pitroff.
Join Milwaukee Panthers men's basketball for an exciting weekend of hoops action at UWM Panther Arena. On Friday, Milwaukee takes on Youngstown State at 7, followed by a Sunday matinee with Robert Morris at 2. Experience all the action, including rim-rattling dunks, clutch three-pointers, and game-changing blocks. Tickets start at $13. Help tilt the floor. Visit MKEPanthers.com to select your seat. Panther Athletics for the MKE.
Who's looking for a deal? Well, Cousin Subs has a better deal just for you. Cousin's new $10 meal deals are now available online only. Choose between a 7.5-inch ham and provolone, turkey breast, or veggie sub, a bag of chips or regular fry, a regular fountain beverage, and cookie at cousinsubs.com or on the mobile app for just $10. Now that's a better deal. Cousin Subs, we believe in better. Available at participating locations only. Offer subject to change without notice.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Cause you had a bad day, you take one down.
Unfortunately, it wasn't just a bad day. It was an accumulation of weeks, as we learned from Tucker Kraft, and I'd like to get to that once Strophy's off the phone for those who've missed it, because it is jarringly telling. Jarringly. Kyle, I made a joke, it's been funny. Bennett placed $60 to make $900 on the Packers winning the Super Bowl. I don't really believe this team can win the Super Bowl. Kyle, will you buy it back or buy it for me for $15? Kyle says, yeah, I'll buy it.
Yeah, I bought it because I still had hope and faith. Had to clean it up.
Oh my gosh, that was the first time that you almost. I thought I heard something.
Hope and faith in this football team, but little did I know Tucker Kraft knew it was over. I wish Tucker would have said this 3-4 weeks ago before I spent my $15 on that ticket. I could have used that to tithes and offering. I could have used that in the market hall. I could have used that to buy baby girl, some time at the airport when I go pick her up.
800-990-3776. Justin in Milwaukee, we're going to start with you. What's your number one problem right now?
KBN Nation, what's up? Long time listener. I've been listening to you guys since the beginning, man.
Good love it. Thank you.
Appreciate it, man.
We're front runners. That's the problem.
Oof.
Huge problem. There's a reason why Matt LaFleur, every single time he wins the toss, what does he do? He takes the ball. Why? Because he's a front runner, just like his quarterback. When the pressure is on both of them, they make the worst decisions. I've watched it since Matt LaFleur's been a coach. You remember when he took Aaron Rodgers off the field?
Oh, yeah.
To go down by 5 or 4, whatever it was. Where's the math there, buddy?
Yeah, no, I hear the frustration, Justin. I feel like kicking the field goal to make a one-score game a one-score game. I don't give him a pass for it, but it definitely brings up, like, hey, that was his second year. We're now to a point where I know Stroph's manning the phones, but as soon as he puts this person on hold, I really want to hear from Tucker Kraft again. I can't believe that came out of one of your... You know what? I actually love it. And I'll tell you why I love it. Because when he talks about how this team felt this brewing for 3 weeks, that's a man that it probably didn't sit well with. What do we all respect when we watch Tucker Kraft play football?
Tough as nails.
Toughness, the way he hits people. When the tough guy on the team is saying this about your locker room, it's jarring.
It seems
well, we certainly
like
didn't win anything. The whole last few games that we played, it just, you could kind of feel what was brewing for us. We just didn't finish.
You could feel what was brewing for us. You could feel what was brewing for us. Tucker, change it. Matt, change it. Somebody change it. This is the NFL. This is the playoffs.
Yeah, it seems like with the Packers, I'm not super willing to go as far as calling them front runners, but when things are easy, when things are medium, even when things are just semi-tough, boy, things feel easy for the Green Bay Packers. When things get actually tough, you actually go on a losing streak, you actually face a tough, elite, good opponent, they fold, whether it be under Aaron Rodgers and trying to make those playoff runs, or more recently with Jordan Love, and specifically this season, playing elite teams. This team was never prepared for the occasion, always felt outmatched, and never felt like they had belief in themselves, and they just crumbled. I know that they tried to claw their way back in some of those other games, but they just never seemed prepared for it, and they always seem shocked. It's like the Packers imagined things would just click, and everything would just fall together, but they never brought the juice when they needed it, and they never played tough and physical and with passion when that was required most.
Randy in Grafton, 800-990-3776. Then we're going to head out to Kansas City, New Jersey, and Canada. Randy, you're up on the talking text line, the Carbless talking text line.
Yeah, Kraft's comments, I guess, explain why I was left feeling a little lack of being inspired and wanting more out of LaFleur's comments about the game. Him saying the players were excited for the challenge rather than they were looking forward to either avenging their earlier loss and bringing home a victory. I just wasn't inspired enough or convinced enough that their heads were in the right place
before the game?
Simply saying they were excited for the challenge.
Are you talking about before the game or during or both?
Yeah, no, before the game, his weekly show, he kind of declared or he commented that the players were excited about the challenge. I guess off of Kraft's comments, it brought me back to thinking at the time. I remember saying, I wanted more. I wanted to hear the players were excited to avenge an earlier loss and were excited about bringing home us, the city, a victory.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Randy. Just want to keep it moving.
What Randy doesn't realize, Randy, guess what? They didn't believe that they were going to avenge that loss. They didn't believe they were going to bring home another victory. They didn't believe they were going to Detroit. The only thing they believe is that their asses are going to be right back in Green Bay talking to the media today and packing up their locker room today. That's the only thing they believe.
Unfortunately, the product on the field showed that. And that's why I was asking, were you wanting more from LaFleur when he was talking prior to the game or during the? Because during the game, I just have this team didn't go to war. This is a playoff game. We knew this was going to be a tough game. We knew how physical Philly was. Forget the environment. Forget the people. I'm talking about the team. And they didn't even impress me that much with what they did. The game was still out there, and the Packers did nothing to try and take it.
And one thing, I know we're being very critical right now because it's deserved, but I just want to say shout out to that defense because everything I'm saying has to do with the offense and their poor performance, the offense and their head coach and play caller that devised a terrible plan yesterday, and the offense of the quarterback who I love, who played like absolute trash yesterday.
Well, even with Matt LaFleur's post-game comments, right, he wasn't like he was out there with an edge. He looked irritable, right? He just looked angry. And the sideline, the same thing.
Can't wait to get back to Green Bay.
Every time he's in these moments where he needs to keep his cool or where his players are going unhinged with dumb penalties, he himself loses it. He is like Kyle Wallace when Kyle was a substitute teacher, trying to come in and be friendly with everyone. And then when the wheels go off, you start to go, hey, and try to be real disciplinarian and tough, and it just doesn't work. That's who Matt LaFleur is.
Tracy in Kansas City, you're up 800-990-3776 on the Carbless Talk and Text line.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Great, how are you?
Okay, good. I'm just gonna be real fast. This is why I did not want them losing Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones kept the chemistry together. And then on top of that, Jair, he's kind of checked out as well. So the chemistry is just broken apart totally. And I know Josh Jacobs is trying to hold it together, but I don't know if he can somewhat rebuild that chemistry with the team.
Yeah, Tracy, I think it's a great point, just like trying to figure out what went wrong. But I can't fault Josh Jacobs, and I don't know if anyone can based off the way he actually looked like he wanted to be out there.
Not at all. I understand the chemistry was missing with Aaron Jones. Obviously would have helped, but at the end of the day, we ain't going to talk bad about Josh Jacobs because Josh Jacobs, he embarrassed Matt LaFleur, and he embarrassed Jordan Love yesterday with his effort on the football field. When we look at this offense, there are three guys we look at. We look at Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, and Matt LaFleur, and only one of them showed up yesterday and played at the elite level. The rest of them were terrible yesterday. And so he absolutely embarrassed him because he showed us what somebody with heart and grit looks like. Somebody who literally was dragging grown men down the field and put his heart into trying to score yesterday. Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love should be embarrassed by the fact they failed Josh Jacobs and how he left it all out on the field yesterday.
And not only did he do that, he did it while he was trying to get ripped down every single play. Before we came on the show, I'm watching clips from Dan Orlovsky. I was like, why is he highlighting the Philadelphia defense, especially the run game? Because Josh actually had a decent, yards per carry.
His coach didn't help him. I mean,
no, he
the
didn't.
box was heavy. The quarterback didn't help him.
8 guys were in the picture every time he was tackled. If he cut one way, there was guys there. And guess how many times they ran play action? 3 damn times. 3 damn screens. No easy completions. The passing game has been atrocious. The same way that Tucker Kraft said something is brewing the last couple of weeks for this team is the same way that this passing game has been brewing nothing for the last 3 weeks.
Well, and when it comes to in locker room leadership, I get that losing Aaron Jones is a loss, right? But Josh Jacobs, he was nothing but bought in and positive all year. And even more so, it falls on Jordan Love. If you are quarterback one, you are paid $55 million, you have to be like every other great top leading quarterback out there. Mahomes and Brady and fill in the blank of great quarterbacks. You got to be the guy that galvanizes everyone because Jordan Love will be the consistency, the one consistent chess piece for the Green Bay Packers for the next 10 years. So it is on him to be that lifeblood, pulse-like leader the Packers need. So I blame Jordan Love if there's a void in the leadership department left up by Aaron Jones.
Yeah, now I hear it from a player's perspective, but ultimately, like the head coach has to identify the way to get the entire football team going, and he did not do that. Whether it was the losses to the teams that had better records than you, whatever it is. Like, we talked about how it goes 0-0. The record is 0-0. Everyone's 0-0. It looked like the Packers were playing like a team that knew they were 0-6 against really good football teams this year.
They didn't believe. They had
Pat in New Jersey, 800-990-3776 on the Carbless Talk and Text line. Pat, the floor is yours.
Hey, guys. How you doing? Listen, spot on. Jacobs is a beast. What I don't understand is why are we letting LaFleur off the hook? Is he doing something that I'm missing? He has the worst clock management of I've seen a couple high school games lately, better than he does it. And those challenges, I mean, it's incredible. We got to get heat on him or get him the hell out because he has this whole team playing soft. There wasn't one guy, except for Jacobs yesterday, that wasn't playing soft. I love Jenkins. He's a stud. But you don't pull and run and try to block standing up. You got to bend over.
Pat, your voice and your energy right now has more energy than what we saw in the football field from the Green Bay Packers, especially again, I think we should preface this offensively because they did grind. Early turnover gave up 7, and the defense did grind for this team.
Well, and that's the one thing that Matt LaFleur has kind of a get-out-of-jail-free card, right, is he is an offensive mastermind. So anytime he messes up the calls, end-of-game challenges, loses his cool on the sideline, I would always go back to, hey, the offense is looking great. They're in rhythm. He's brilliant. We haven't seen that, though, guys. We have not seen the masterful, beautiful mind of Matt LaFleur offensively come out, and they're the reason that they lost. They were out of sync, no rhythm. Jordan Love played his worst game in recent memory.
So here's what we're going to do. We got to keep going through the other states that we have here and then get back to our Wisconsin people on 800-990-3776. We're going to get O Canada ready for the other side. Ricardo in Canada. I hope our friend from Ottawa calls. Tell us what's on your mind, because right now all I can think about is how this team was unprepared for a real moment against the Philadelphia Eagles. They had no chance based off what we heard from Tucker Kraft in the locker room today. We'll replay what Tucker Kraft had to say. I don't think we can play enough. I want every person to know what somebody in the Green Bay locker room felt about their team heading into the Philadelphia Eagles game yesterday. 800-990-3776. Kyle, Brust, and Nortman continues on with you next.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN.
Kyle, I love you.
Can't say the same.
That's fair.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor, southeastern Wisconsin's beer, liquor, and wine headquarters. For over 60 years, 7 different decades, all as a local family-owned business. Discount Liquor has a selection with over 14,000 varieties of beer, liquor, and wine in stock, along with everyday low prices, expert service, and convenience with 2 locations. But don't just take my word for it. Let's check out some online reviews. Robert wrote, "There's not a better liquor store around. Nobody even comes close to their beer selection. The only issue? I get brain overload because there are so many choices." And Aubrey recalled, "I went in looking for a very specific and rare dessert wine. They not only knew of it, but special ordered it and called us when it was available for pickup. Just can't beat their service." Thanks, Robert and Aubrey, for your kind words and patronage. Discount Liquor in Milwaukee on 51st in Oklahoma and in downtown Waukesha on Main and Barstow.
Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center is hosting another Scramble tournament with $750 in cash prizes available. Hey ESPN Milwaukee, this is Gary Ellison, and Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center invites you to play in a 2-man scramble at Pebble Beach, all from their comfortable golf simulators. Grab a friend and sign up today at WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com. The tournament costs $120 per pairing and is happening now through January 31st. Your winter chance to play Pebble Beach awaits. WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com.
Looking for the most popular answer? What's the worst thing about Wisconsin winters? Gina Della from Pella.
Finding a sitter when snow closes school. Yay! It's the time of the year when we just want to be all warm and snuggly at home. And Pella helps make your home as beautiful on the outside as it is comfortable on the inside, with inviting doors to let friends and family in and beautiful energy-efficient windows to keep the cold out. Celebrate the new year with 0% interest for up to 3 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply.
Ready for a win? Well, it's your year. At Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, you could win over $2,000 in free play every month, all year long. Just play your favorite games and you might take the stage in the It's Your Year game show. 25 winners each Thursday. There's $300,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs this January. Yeah, we think it's your year. More info at PaysBig.com. Must be 21 years old to play.
American Family Insurance is a lot like Captain America. He protects the world.
It's just doing my job.
And we help protect your dreams with amazing auto and home coverage. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. And see Marvel Studios' Captain America: Brave New World.
Suit up. We need to move.
In theaters February 14th. This film is not yet rated.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
True Chicago-style pizza is thin, crispy, and cut into squares. And thanks to Connie's Frozen Pizza, you can enjoy a true slice of the city. You'll enjoy it so much you won't even mind where it comes from. Connie's Frozen Pizzas are made from the same cornmeal crust Connie's has been serving for over 60 years. They're perfectly cheesy, perfectly saucy, and they're exactly what you crave. Get to know the true Chicago style with Connie's Frozen Pizza. Born in Chicago, loved by cheeseheads. Available in a freezer aisle near you.
Skilled trade workers are the backbone of every community and also the Army National Guard. Soldiers trained to keep the power flowing, engines running, and in every other trade needed to accomplish the mission. These soldiers are on the fast track to learning skills that can set them up for success at home with companies looking to hire the best. Their resumes are being built through their paid training and part-time service. Find out how you too can learn a trade profession by visiting NationalGuard.com. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station. You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Just a really sad performance with what was on the line for Matt LaFleur and the Green Bay Packers. Both defenses, tip your cap. Doesn't give Matt LaFleur a pass for what this offense in this past game was for the last 3 weeks. 800-990-3776. If you missed it, Tucker Kraft, cleaning out of his locker today, had this to say.
Well, we certainly didn't win anything. The whole last few games that we played, it just, you could kind of feel what was brewing for us.
Every time I hear that, I get more upset. We're talking about the NFL. We're talking about the Green Bay Packers, and we're talking about a team that won 11 games. And despite the fact that they lost to those 5 teams with better records, we skipped the Bears game in the regular season, they played like a team that lost to those 5 teams. And they didn't show that they actually had fight. And that's why it's coming from the guy that has the most fight of everyone on that team.
Yeah, he's
other than Josh Jacobs.
He's the toughest, and he has his priorities in line. The line I love is, we certainly didn't win anything. Basically saying, like, there is nothing that we can point to, that we can hang our cap on to say this is what we should be ultimately proud of this season. It's all about winning something. Win the division, win a playoff game, advance, win the Super Bowl. The Packers amounted for no significant win at all this entire season. I think where he's frustrated is, where I'm frustrated is, this is where regret is birthed, right? Because you work all year. Think about it. From now until Labor Day weekend, we're going to be working on trying to get this team better, win football games, ultimately win a championship, and win a playoff game. That entire time last year wasted to this moment because they didn't win anything this year.
We head over the border. I like to laugh at that, but I'm not in a laughing mood right now. Ricardo, how are you feeling?
Oh man, it's a dark day. It's a sad day, but the sun rises once again. Yeah, no, it was rough. It was rough. Listen, this game, this team, it falls at 2 people's feet, and I don't care what people say. One is Jordan Love. Mm-hmm. Listen, when you're paid that money and you're the quarterback, you're QB1. You need to be the tide that raises all boats. It can't be the other way around. I don't care who you're throwing it to. You need to make them look better. You need to make them look better than they are. Like that pick with Darius Slay, great play. So you threw it right at him. You got to put it in front of Montavia Wiggs. You got to lead your receiver in certain situations. You got to command your troops. But it falls at Matt LaFleur. He did him no favors.
None.
Play calling was horrible. It's like he was using a playbook for Madden 2018. It was horrible. Like, there was no motion, there was no play action. Everybody on the broadcast was like, that's going to be a run and this is going to be a pass. Like, that was horrible. Like, it was atrocious. And you know what? And I think, and I hope Matt LaFleur is smart enough to realize he needs to take a step back, self-scout a little bit. He needs to bring some new blood into his offensive staff to give him some new identity, some new ideas, some new identity, and he needs to evolve. And then also, Gutekunst this summer, he needs to get a few more dogs because this team, there's
a whole bunch of them,
on defense. No, but listen, we can't change the whole team over in one summer. But the defense, they're right there. Jeff Hadley this is Jeff Hafley's first year with the players that was given to him. Now that he knows what he has and the kind of profile he wants, we can start personalizing the defense to the players he gets.
And thank you, Ricardo. We just got to keep her rolling here. 800-990-3776. The Carbless Talking text line. Less is more. Yeah, I'm all for the positivity on Jeff Hafley, but the messaging that he had early about loving the floor sticks right in my brain. What were the goods sold to us early about Matt LaFleur? The ability to scheme guys open. And if guys aren't winning their one-on-one battles, you need to have something in the back of the bag of tricks to do something to make it easier for Jordan Love, where nothing felt easy for Jordan Love.
Yeah, both Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur, the word that comes to mind is overwhelmed. In these big games, and even yesterday.
I hate when you get us all ready for a big word and then it hurts because it's so true.
I don't want it to hurt, but they were just overwhelmed. And when you're overwhelmed, what do? Even human nature, you revert. You go backward. You go back to default. And for Matt LaFleur, he goes more simple, and that doesn't necessarily allow him to be creative, and he gets excitable on the sidelines. And from Jordan Love, when he gets overwhelmed, he gets inaccurate and bad decision-making.
Reckless.
And both of those things happen. Reckless, Kyle Wallace, perfect word. And your quarterback and your head coach are overwhelmed, you do not stand a chance, no matter how good your defense played, let alone special teams.
Brad, you're being called out. 800-990-3776. It's a Jordan issue, not Matt issue. It's guys like Brad who wave the pom-pom saying he's a top 5 QB after one win against a bad coach.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Brad.
I'm not sure I ever said Jordan Love's a top 5 quarterback. He's a top 10 quarterback. He's a top 10 quarterback.
Hey, Kyle said something about Jordan Love that is going to live forever.
He will be in that Hall of Fame talk. Just wait on it. Yeah, I mean, he made me look stupid yesterday. He really did. I was thinking about that. I said, this is not Hall of Fame cable. I mean, at least when Brett Favre threw all them interceptions, it was exciting.
And I agree.
This is just disappointing.
And Love was bad yesterday. He went no touchdowns to 3 interceptions.
Not a great ratio last time I checked.
No, I believe his QBR was one of the
41.
worst playoff QBRs in the last 10 years. So he is really strong. There's no excuses for Jordan Love. He is better than that. He should be better than that. And the Packers will not win when your quarterback plays like that. So this is on Jordan Love as well.
I think what we really learned is that the Green Bay Packers, it's easy when you're an underdog, right? You're super easy when nobody has expectations. And so we don't have expectations. You can play loose. You can play free. And that's what last year was. But this year, it ratcheted up a little bit. There are a little bit more expectations. And when those expectations came, we found out who the Green Bay Packers really were. The Packers were never ready for this moment, and Matt LaFleur was not ready for this moment. And I understand we had a caller, a fan who called in, who talked about, the poor decisions Matt LaFleur has made. We talked about a couple weeks ago, Matt LaFleur with the timeout situation, right? It seems when Matt LaFleur has to make these instantaneous decisions, he becomes indecisive, and sometimes he makes poor decisions.
Mouse.
But also, the failure to get your team ready to go for some of the biggest games can eventually be his Achilles heel. And for Jordan Love, again, I love me J Love, but this whole offseason, the 2025 season is all going to be about, is Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur going to take the next step? Because both of them are going to have a little bit of a flame on their behinds to actually prove something. Because at this moment, they still got so much more to prove.
Well, unfortunately, the team was sleeping on the field yesterday, but Brad has a more exciting way to use something called Sleeper.
That's right. You will not be sleeping. You'll be fully awake when you use Sleeper Picks. This is going to be an absolutely wonderful way to now watch the rest of the NFL playoffs. The green and gold might be out. That doesn't mean that the rest of the NFL games and NBA and college basketball, so many other things you can't enjoy using Sleeper Picks. Here's how you use it. Just download the Sleeper app today and pick more or less on at least 2 players' projected stats. If you're right, you can win up to 100 times your cash. I had an 8-leg one that was over the weekend. I hit on guess how many? 7 of 8 of them, so close to 26 times my money, but I'm going to keep on playing. In fact, I'm going to reveal...
Damn, Brad, 8?
In fact,
he wants that money.
In fact, in a little bit later in the show, I'm going to reveal what my sleeper picks are for tonight's game. So tune in. I'm going to reveal what my sleeper picks are. Feel free to dive into them or fade me, whatever you think is more fun. But for a limited time with the Sleeper app, there's a special offer. New users You just have to play $5. That's it. And you'll receive $55 in free entry. Here's how you do that. Download the Sleeper app and use code BRAD, B-R-A-D, and you'll get $55 in free entries when you play just $5. That's code BRAD, B-R-A-D. Must be 18 years or older. Promo code, location, and other restrictions apply. Minimum deposit $25. See terms for details. Please play responsibly. Call 1-800-426-2537 for help.
800-990-3776. I have your calls. I'll curate the texts. And we got some quotes to give Kyle of other Green Bay Packers saying things today while cleaning out the lockers. Or kind of not saying things. Jair. Next.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN.
Steph, your biggest strength in life that you bring to this world?
Probably my wife, because she keeps me calm. Even when I'm cursing at the TV during Packers games, I always know I can fall back on her.
That's sweet, man. Who knew KBN Nation with so many simps? Boy, I love this. I love this.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com. The best source for every piece of NFL news you need to know.
That's the idea of a deal. Each side gets wins, right? They have Jordan Love under contract for the next 5 years.
ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter is on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy every Wednesday morning at 7:30. Sponsored by Island Resort and Casino.
I think Packers fans would sign up for 12-5 today, and maybe they will be.
Right here on 94.5 ESPN and also streaming live on the Wisconsin On Demand app and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman, here to tell you about my friends at Bank 5-9. Everywhere I go throughout the area, I see Bank 5-9, and it's no wonder why. Not only do they have 14 branch locations, but their employees spend nearly 9,000 hours each year volunteering in the communities that they serve. That's on top of the financial support that they provide to several hundred nonprofits right here in southeastern Wisconsin. If you're looking for a true local community bank, check them out today at bank59.com. Member FDIC.
Experience the timeless charm of the Knickerbocker on the Lake, Milwaukee's premier boutique hotel. With its stunning architecture and modern comforts, every detail tells a story. Whether it's a romantic getaway, a business trip, or simply a night away, you'll find elegance, history, and a warm welcome waiting for you. The Knickerbocker on the Lake, where every moment feels like a chapter from the past, written just for you. Visit knickerbockerontheLake.com to book your stay today. An unforgettable getaway awaits.
Is it time to buy an engagement ring?
Or a big anniversary diamond?
Kessler's has diamonds that come from diamond mines.
And we also have diamonds that come from plasma chambers.
When you see the size of the diamond you can afford when you look at our high-tech newborn created diamonds,
you're going to be happy, happy, happy.
And with approved credit, our financing plans make anything possible.
Our selection of engagement rings is beyond compare.
And our custom design department can modify any ring in any way you choose.
Anyone who says they can give you a better ring
or a better diamond
or a better price
has never been to Kessler's.
And our miraculous no small print warranty says,
if you bought it at Kessler's, it's guaranteed.
It's just that simple.
And all maintenance is free forever.
No charge.
Yes, it really is that miraculous.
You found a partner you want to share your life with.
When you're ready to celebrate,
we've got a diamond for that.
Find the Kessler's nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
Every so often in medicine, something comes along that is truly revolutionary.
Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, former orthopedic surgeon, now National Medical Director at QC Kinetics.
I believe this is one of those things.
Dr. Scheinkup is talking about regenerative medicine, something he's practiced, researched, and written about for nearly 2 decades.
The old ways of dealing with joint pain, such as steroids and surgery, are no longer the best ways.
If you have pain from arthritis or injury, you owe it to yourself to learn more about this exciting option, using your own body's natural power to get lasting relief. And there's no better place to learn than QC Kinetics.
There is no one in this country today with more clinics, more satisfied patients, more advanced protocols, or more experience in using this exciting option to deliver life-changing results.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Kyle Walls for Universal Windows Direct. Right now, buy 2 windows and get 2 free. There is no limit and no payments for 3 whole years. Restrictions apply. If you already have a price quote, they'll beat it. Schedule your free in-home estimate today.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Bill, the 732 chimes in. Hey, Nortman, you look like Liam Neeson's brother. And on a day of mourning and Strofe, have you not heard this story? Brad, please.
What story?
Let the audience smile, then we'll get back into being mad about what happened.
Hopefully this gives you a little bit of smile.
You know Liam
KBN
Neeson?
Nation.
Just let him tell the story.
So Lexi and I went to New York City for Thanksgiving, not this most recent one, but the 2023 Thanksgiving. And we're looking at the Macy's Day Balloons. We're seeing them. It's a crisp day outside. It's wonderful. And there's a gentleman, probably in his like 60s, late 60s, sitting on a bench. And Lexi and I are just walking by, minding our own business. And he's sitting there pretty peacefully. And then I walk by and he says, "Oh my God, it's Liam Neeson's son." And then I was like, I kind of reacted like that. And I was like, I guess I am. And he just stared at me. Like his eyes didn't even blink as I walked by.
Maybe it was Bill. Maybe it was Bill at the park.
Oh my God, it's Liam Neeson's son. I mean, he went
You
from...
do look like his son. You guys have a very similar profile in your face.
Yeah, a little bit. I do see. I've never thought of it.
Well,
that
Liam
until right
Neeson
now.
is he's quite the gentleman.
Quotes from the Green Bay Packers here on Kyle, Brust, and Nortman across ESPN Wisconsin. Quickly, we start with what Tucker Kraft had to say as he was cleaning out his locker talking to some media.
Well, we certainly didn't win anything. The whole last few games that we played, you could kind of feel what was brewing for us.
Ugh. Feel what was brewing for us. Hate that so much. Kyle, how do you feel about this one? When Jair Alexander was asked to speak with the media at the locker room cleanout, he declined, saying he doesn't even know if he's going to be here next year. Said he didn't have anything good to say, so definitely wasn't going to talk. Do you still want to keep him around like you said a week ago?
Oh, yeah, I don't want to keep him around.
Kelly, Helene, and.
Yeah, Jair Alexander made a business decision.
Attribution.
He made a business decision to decide that he was going to have surgery instead of trying to come back, and so Jair Alexander knew what he was looking at.
So
he was looking at moving on.
Here's the thing I'm tied up with on this one. Ben, can you read the very beginning of the tweet you just read?
Yes, I can. Where did I have it?
Okay, maybe no, you can't. The beginning of the tweet said he declined to comment, but then everybody reported his comments,
making sure he got something.
Yeah, right. He
did comment.
Classic.
He got 2 comments. I have nothing nice to say, and I don't know if I'm going to be here next year.
Those are comments.
I mean,
those are the 2 questions I have for him. So I guess he answered them.
I guess he answered the comments that everyone cares about. His future with the team. He ain't want to be here.
What'd you think of yesterday, Jair? I got nothing nice to say. You think you're going to be here next year? I don't know if I'm going to be here next year.
I'm not happy. I don't want to be here.
Dust your hands off. That's
Quick
a wrap.
Keyshawn Nixon, who is signed to a deal as a primary kickoff returner with a slot presence. Per The Athletic, I don't really want to do it anymore. There's going to be talks with the coaching staff and stuff like that, but I think it's over for me when talking about the kickoff. I want to be CB1. CB1 not doing kickoff returns. That's just what it is.
He wants to be CUT, cut, because he needs to be good for this football team. CB1. I'm telling you this right now. I couldn't, the whole first half, every time they showed Keyshawn Nixon, I was disgusted looking at him. I had to turn my head. I couldn't stand looking at Keyshawn Nixon. He ended this game for us. That fumble on the first drive, I don't understand what in his mind makes him believe he's going to make something pop. That man is insane. He didn't do anything.
I actually have it less on Nixon and more on the $2 million per year man that's robbing the Green Bay Packers.
He sucks too. He sucks. He should be fired. They both should go right back to Oakland, Las Vegas, or
Rich Bisaccia is his name.
They both.
He sucks too.
Keyshawn Nixon, I can't believe he had that come out of his mouth. I don't want that man on the roster. Matter of fact, I want him to go to Goody's office, and I want him to go to LaFleur's office, and I want him to say, listen, I want to be cornerback number 1, so we're going to have to restructure this deal. I'm not a kick returner no more. After I fumbled and lost shot again, I don't want to do that no more. I'm bigger than that. I want to be a corner. And you know what I want Goody to say? Goody want to say, shut the hell up and get out my office.
Goody doesn't have that in him. I'm sorry.
Well, Goody,
he would say it in the polite manner of
Keyshawn.
I respect you.
We really like the way you've taken on the role of more slot action and stepping in with injuries, but you're not cornerback one, bud.
Yeah. Strofe, what's your favorite quality in someone, or most important quality you say about somebody? Is what?
Yeah. I'm going to blank out.
Self-awareness.
Self-awareness, yes.
Self-awareness. After you basically lose the game with a
personal in his defense, maybe he's CB1 by default.
That's the point I was about to make, Benny. Yeah, I mean, he was CB1 the entire second half of the season.
No, he's a loose
If that's
cannon.
the case, then you can guarantee the Packers aren't going to the Super Bowl next year.
Yeah,
they will be addressing that position, I would guess.
No, he has got to go. That 15-yard penalty was so stupid. I swear,
So stupid.
I promise you, if Keyshawn Nixon was my son, if my child, if he's blessed to play football, I'm able to coach him, and he did that, they had to get CPS on me. I said, what is you doing? That's a boneheaded play. That's stupid. And Matt LaFleur over there just looking stupid.
Does CPS apply to adults?
You must go to YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee and at ESPN Madison, because Kyle is probably my favorite person to observe in life.
Oh my gosh!
Did y'all not want to knock his head off when he did that? That was so stupid. It was so stupid.
He takes the microphone like it's.
He did. He abused that microphone. He's so fake tough. He's so fake tough. I'm going to wait till they're out of bounds to try to drive him in there, send a message talking about being CB1. Hey, CB1 don't do that. CB1 don't take kick returns. He is so fake tough. It's ridiculous.
This locker room fell apart. They fell apart. Everybody
They fell apart.
They all think they stuff don't stink.
Andy and Grafton, you've been on hold for a long time. We appreciate it. 800-990-3776. You're on the Carbless Talking text line.
Yeah, I would say that the blame falls on Brian Gutekunst more than anybody else, because you brought in two bona fide free agents and your team got worse. So, that only leads me to believe that the talent that we keep trying to say is oh, we're building. Well, maybe the players have reached their potential, and that's all you're going to get.
I think, Andy, the hard part I have of that is some of these guys are young. It's not an excuse. But there is potential to be earned more. There are some who are
no, let Andy say, Andy, you keeping it real. I'm sick of this potential talk, too, because potentially LVN sucks. Potentially Rashawn Gary sucks. Potentially Kenny Clark. Listen, I don't care. I've always said Kenny Clark was overrated. And now this year, Kenny Clark wasn't even rated. He was bad, too. Everything. Quay Walker sucks. All these guys that he drafted, these first-round picks, they basically suck. Eric Stokes sucks. So I'm with them. I'm sick of this, if we just bring in this, bring in that. No, they all suck.
Thank you for the call, Andy.
Deep breath. The only one I agree with is Eric Stokes. He sucks.
Oh, so you think LVN didn't suck? What he did?
No. All he's saying is a lot of these guys do have the potential to suck.
No,
and have
no.
They have Rashawn Gary sucked based off his contract.
He hates the idea of they will potentially make the jump. Right? LVN did not make the year to jump that many of us expected.
Compare those guys to Philly's defense, who are mostly drafted guys.
I will say the guys that made the jump were rookies, right? I mean, you look across the board, Edrin Cooper, Evan Williams, Javon Bullard, right? These are the guys that made the jump and made big impacts.
That's bad.
Yeah, that's bad when you're paying Rashawn Gary, when you're paying Kenny Clark, when you're investing first-round picks in guys like Eric Stokes and LVN.
I don't think you should expect a jump after you've seen their body of work, right? I think this jump, it's a step. It's never a jump. Usually, if you can play, you see flashes of that very early.
We've seen some flashes from the guys we mentioned.
Who?
The young guys that we mentioned, Evan Williams, Bullard.
Yeah, those guys.
Quay had some flashes, but he also had some really bad games.
Yeah, but we have enough sample size of Quay that if they give him a fifth-year option, I'm done.
No, the rookies have shown that they are capable, but all those other guys Kyle mentioned, we have enough of a sample size.
No, listen, ain't no reason why Evan Williams can come in and already look better than what Darnell Savage was. Ain't no reason why Edrin Cooper should be able to come in and already looks better than a Quay Walker. Please, how are these second, third, fourth-round picks looking better than your first-round pick? Hey, Carrington Valentine is a freaking seventh-round pick, and he's outplaying your first-round pick in Eric Stokes.
Rasheed Walker at left tackle?
Oh, my gosh. Rasheed Walker's a sixth, seventh-round pick, too, and he outplayed Jordan Morgan. He beat out Jordan Morgan for the starting left tackle position. Sway, show me where that happens. You don't draft the left tackle to sit him on the bench. You draft the left tackle to insert him into the starting lineup. That did not happen in Green Bay. Jordan Morgan got beat out by lesser guys. Sean Ryan, Rasheed P. Walker, what the hell is going on in Green Bay?
We'll be back in 2 minutes. Kyle's going to catch his breath, and we'll get to your calls. Holy cow, I love this.
Ready for a win? Well, it's your year. At Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, you can win over $2,000 in free play every month all year long. Just play your favorite games and you might take the stage in the It's Your Year game show. 25 winners each Thursday. There's $300,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs this January. Yeah, we think it's your year. More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 years old to play.
It's what you wait for all week. The three-pointers, the rebounds, the thrill of every shot. Win or lose, it's the hope that keeps you coming back. The dream that this time, it might be your year. And so you represent with anticipation and with pride. Because when the pressure's on, your support is everything. That's why the NBA Store is here to support you. Check out the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
And now it's time for everyone's favorite game, Response in Wisconsin. Guess the most popular responses from Wisconsinites. Okay, here we go. What's your least favorite thing about winter in Wisconsin? Gina Della from Pella.
Let me guess. Frozen toes? Oh, I know. Driving alongside bumper cars every time it snows. And then scrambling to find someone to watch your kids because they're school clothes. Yeah! Let's face it, this is just the time of the year when we just want to all be warm and snuggly at home. And Pella helps make your home as beautiful on the outside as it is comfortable on the inside. With inviting doors to let friends and family in and beautiful energy-efficient windows to keep the cold out. Pella Windows and Doors is the best choice to make your home just right. Celebrate the new year with 0% interest for up to 3 years.
Thanks for playing Response in Wisconsin.
Hurry! You only have until January 31st to get 0% interest for up to 3 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply.
You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Let's go!
Let's go!
Broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman. KBN on ESPN Wisconsin. Here's Kyle Wallace, Ben Brust, and Brad Nortman.
Hanging with all you as the Packers lost yesterday in the wild card game to the Philadelphia Eagles, to no surprise based off what we're hearing from the team today. But how optimistic they were feeling, as Tucker Kraft said that it was brewing. This was all brewing. We didn't win anything. This was all brewing. And I hate hearing that, but it also provides clarity. And with clarity comes the opportunity to talk about potential solutions and what needs to change. 800-990-3776 is the Carbless Talk and Text line. That is open for you all show long. You can see us on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee, at ESPN Madison. Stroth, how you doing back there?
Good, man. All in all, I'm sad, right? I don't know how you're not. I was expecting them to lose, as we talked about all of last week, but that was much uglier than I expected.
It just was uninspiring.
Sorry not to cut you off, Strophy, but you know what I think this is? I think these young guys think this is just going to happen every year. I just think that they're always going to have their buddies around. We're always going to be good. We're always going to be in the mix, and it just is not the case. The NFL changes so much year to year. And people's careers are shorter than they think. I think this young group were almost hurt by their success last year. Oh, it'll just all come together. It'll just all coalesce right at the right time, and we're going to go on our run. We know we got it in us. It's just going to happen. You think it's always going to happen. You think that I don't need to do that extra little bit to go there. I think these guys are thinking, most of the season.
I think that's a really good point. I've seen situations in my life where when people walk into success that young, they think it's just going to happen. No, it happens by the hard work you had to do to get there. And if you're not doing the extra stuff and if you're not buying in the extra, somebody else is, and you'll be walked right over. Yep. Walked right over.
That's exactly right.
Ron in the key, 800-990-3776. When Ron calls, it's either good or it's bad. Let's see.
Kyle, I want to know who you're yelling at, because it sounds like Kyle week 18.5 is yelling at Kyle week 0 through 17. Like,
Ron, I think he just realized, and he did say he was fooled by his green and gold goggles. So let my man have his moment in week 18 and a half to yell.
I mean, you have to have an entire season, right? Like, you got to have a season to figure out whether these guys are good or not.
No, you don't.
And we realized very early on that the defense was trash. We talked about them, bum, scrub, what is it? That's a bona fide scrub. We knew this defense was full of bona fide scrubs. And Jeff Hafley, he deserves an applause. Heck, he deserves a raise. Give him the $2 million you gave to Bisaccia, because for him to get these average to below average, underachieving defensive players to play like that yesterday as a unit, he deserves a big applause from us. So, yeah, listen, I know there's some scrubs on that defense, and that falls on Goody of drafting these guys.
Anything else quickly, Ron?
DC.
Some of us have been telling you that all year long. This is a player problem. It's not a Matt LaFleur problem. Every coach in the NFL makes time decisions that a Madden player wouldn't make. This is you don't have the horses. It's just not a good team, and that's okay. Hopefully they get better. Thanks for the call.
I have a problem with that. If you have a team that showed what they were capable of in 10 games last season, and you bring in an all-pro safety who made a huge impact and upgraded from Aaron Jones, who gave it your all, you need to be able, as Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love, to find ways to have an efficient freaking passing game. It was non-existent the last 3 weeks. Jordan Love was, but we can say it, he was below average the last 3 weeks. The only time we got excited about Jordan Love was when he'd come back against the Vikings, right? He came back against the Vikings. He played against the Bears. And then when things got weird and it hit his hand, it made sense to take him out. But even before that, he wasn't in rhythm. He made bad passes yesterday, time and time again. Like, I was like, oh no, this is first half of last year, Jordan Love. So I'm in this identity crisis of who the hell is Jordan Love? And who the hell is Matt LaFleur with Jordan Love?
You got two guys, Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love, when the bright lights are on at this past season, is they both wet the bed. Both of them. Yeah. Both of them just absolutely. Jordan Love pressed yesterday, and he reverted back to the Jordan Love that was terrible, making poor throws and poor decisions. And Matt LaFleur went back to absolutely being confused and not knowing what he's doing.
Phil in Cedarburg, 800-990-3776. You're up on the Carbless Talk and text line. Where's your beef?
Well, I think anybody who's ever been in a relationship knows the problem.
Go on.
Love stinks. Love stinks.
Oh, wow.
That's the problem.
You got it. How many divorces, Phil?
Well, I'm still married.
You sound thrilled, Phil. You sound thrilled. Send her my best. 800-990-3776.
Here's what
he thinks love stinks.
Here's what I will say. Okay, Jordan Love did not play well down the stretch and yesterday. He played terrible. There's no doubt about it. Boneheaded mistakes, inaccurate throws all season long, right? But you can't deny what we saw when we saw Jordan Love at his best, right? I mean, whether it be a singular game here and there throughout the season or that stretch last year, you cannot deny the greatness that Jordan Love can be when he's at his best. It's Matt LaFleur's job as the coach to help his players play at their best. That is what the coach's job is. Whether it be Jordan Love, the wide receivers, the defense, whoever it is the coach's job to get the players to play their best. We've seen their best. The run last year, we have seen this team's best. So that's why it falls on the coaches primarily. Players too, big time. But coaches as well.
I just don't understand. How in the hell do you go to the sideline after the first interception and y'all have a conversation, and then you have the second interception, and then you have the last interception where he just heaved it up there and said, well, whatever happens, just happens, as if Bo Melton is Randy Moss and can go up and get it.
Shades of early 2023.
It is, but what conversation is the quarterback and the head coach having? Because there's no way that Jordan Love should be making a stupid throw like that at the end of the game.
Well, that's the dialogue that play caller and quarterback should have, right? Because, like, hey, we're going to call this play, this play, this play. You're going to look for 1, 2, 3. Just go there, right? And if not, hit your check down.
It's a little too late for this, Brad. 800-990-ESPN, the Carbless Talking text line. John in Kenosha. Quickly, John.
Jordan Love had a half a good season. A half a year he played as an All-Pro. He took a big step back, and so did the Packers team.
I mean,
will he develop under LaFleur? Did Rodgers or Favre take a step back early in their career like that? I don't think they did.
No, they did not. They kept ascending. Brett Favre kept ascending until he got to the Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers, we were talking about.
I think you mentioned it after the Cardinals game in 2009.
We knew how good he was.
Yeah, that was his first flash.
We even knew after the 6-10 season that we had something there, and then the playoffs, they made it. We were like,
We even knew in 2007 when he came into that Dallas game. You were like, it kind of like Love when he came into that Philadelphia game Thanksgiving weekend a couple years ago and Rodgers got hurt. It was like, oh, okay, that was the moment. But Rodgers was a strict ascension.
I'm trying to remember what moment you're talking about. I only remember when he played for the Covento against Kansas City.
10 snaps against Philadelphia. the Sunday
I know what you're talking about now. Yep.
But that wasn't a moment.
Yeah, that
was
like,
he looked great for 10 snaps.
Wasn't that like game out of hand?
Well, they were down 2 scores.
With Rodgers and Favre, they both won MVPs.
Kind of like it's been against good teams this year.
They both won MVPs, I believe, within the first 4 years of starting.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure.
No, you're right. Brett Favre, I think Brett Favre got the MVP with
94, 95?
something like that.
And Rodgers was 2011. So.
Mike, 800-990-3776. These two can figure out the years while you talk and give us some good thoughts here. You're on the Carbless Talk and Text line. You're on Kyle, Brust, and Nortman.
Yeah, Benny, I've been calling him throughout the season saying how terrible Gutekunst has been. He's soft. The result, he hired a very soft head coach. I mean, you can't get any softer. He's like the marshmallow doughboy that Matty is. And I mean, the team is a direct reflection of the personality. And the guy, we have a bunch of undersized, puny little boys playing against some really talented, very ferocious, overdeveloped men. I mean, when you saw that play, when he flicked that Valentine off like a booger off your finger, for crying out loud. The guy's got no business being on a football field. That kid
was humiliating.
He is so under.
Not once, not twice, but 3 times, Mike.
Oh my God! How embarrassing is that? I mean, it's like you're watching like an 8th grader try to tackle a professional football player. And apart from that, the play calling is absolutely atrocious. You've got a guy in Tucker Kraft that could easily be the next Kelsey, for crying out loud. The guy's spectacular. What kind of plays does he throw? This guy. Nothing over the middle, hardly. And all these bombs, make-or-break bombs that they're trying to throw, I don't understand. Those are such low percentage passes to start with, much less in a championship game.
Mike, I'm very happy to have been this outlet for you because you have been phenomenal. Just phenomenal.
What do you say about the booger?
It's like Carrington Valentine line. It's like a booger you flick.
It's a pretty good analogy.
It's a great analogy.
It was tough for Carrington.
Special.
At some point, you got to be like, can you at least push him out of bounds, bro? Like,
I remember last week we said their tight end might be a little bit better than ours, and everybody was like, no way, Tucker Kraft's so good. And then we see Dallas Goedert run through not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 defenders, including the flick of the booger that was just brought up. Good stuff.
Well, on a serious note, I know we're all pretty upset about the Green Bay Packers, but there are things where we can help people affected by the California wildfires in 2025. So donate at redcross.org/ESPN. That is redcross.org/ESPN to help the Red Cross responders and other people help recover during this horrible time. 800-990-3776 is the Carbless Talk and Text line. We'll continue to hear your calls, but we got to get the perspective of one. Jason Wilde joins Kyle, Brust, and Nortman next.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman.
Listen, Diana, that's her name. Listen, we all about positive manifestation. I like you, Diana. All it is negative.
Diana.
Criticize.
Dirty Diana.
I love you, Kyle.
Love you too, girl.
I love you, Kyle.
I love you too. That's what I'm talking about. The real Packer Nation.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Eastbound 94, still a little bit slow from 84th Street through the stadium, interchange in pockets. Southbound on 43 is a little bit slow as well, coming in from just before Hampton down past Capitol Drive. Disabled vehicle northbound 4394 just past the Plainfield curve. That was part of an earlier accident. That's been cleared. Just a few more delays then past that up past Oklahoma Avenue. Traffic is brought to you by Knickerbocker on the Lake. Discover the Knickerbocker on the Lake, Milwaukee's historic hotel since 1929. Experience elegance, modern comfort, and unforgettable stays. Book now at knickerbockeronthelake.com. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Morning flurries becoming mostly sunny, breezy, very cold, a high of 17, with wind chills from 0 to 10 below. Tonight, clear and cold, a low of 4 at the lakefront, 1 below inland, with a wind chill of 10 below to 20 below. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Belaga on 94.5 ESPN.
What happens when you mix a 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year with a Packers Hall of Famer?
I'm not going to get into the Kringle turnover game, so that's what it needs to be.
Kringle
I think his
turnover.
legs. Yeah.
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Like the pastry
Are you guys being
turnovers.
serious? You guys can't put two and two
I got
together.
it. I did not get it when you first
They don't
said
call
it.
themselves Racine Danish
I'm
turnovers.
sorry. Sometimes I wonder about you two, man.
Catch him from 9 to noon right here on 94.5 ESPN, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Ready to tackle your home improvement project this winter? Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help you score big with quality home exterior and shower upgrades. As a 5-time President's Club Award winner, Exterior Pros is not playing around. With flexible financing, it's never been easier to invest in your home without breaking the bank. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation today.
Join the roar of 18,000 Bucks fans at Fiserv Forum and be a part of the slam dunks, game-changing plays, and electrifying victories live. Witness the edge-of-your-seat action and unforgettable moments as they happen. You don't want to miss this. Grab your calendar, handpick your favorite matchups, and secure your seats for Dame time in Milwaukee and every incredible moment that comes next at Bucks.com/tickets. That's Bucks.com/tickets.
Winning in the NFL comes down to the basics, blocking and tackling. In retirement, the certainty of protection and income are the keys to success. And as a former NFL player myself, I have experience with both. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons. Having played on winning teams with the Steelers and Falcons, studying game films helped me mentally prepare for the challenges ahead. Now I star in a new Hollywood documentary called The Retirement Deception to help you visualize and prepare for your fourth quarter of life. You see, you don't retire on your nest egg, but rather the income it can produce. This film shows you exactly how to protect your retirement from stock market drops and produce more income than you thought possible. And it's free for you to view. Call 855-620-1801 right now for your free streaming code to watch The Retirement Deception. Don't risk your retirement savings at the goal line. You don't need to be risky to have a winning strategy. Call today to speak with an all-pro retirement specialist to get your free streaming code to watch The Retirement Deception. Call today. 855-620-1801. That's 855-620-1801. MitchLyonsWealth.com. Your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement.
This message is sponsored by WisCaregiver.com. People across Wisconsin are enjoying the rewards, stability, and flexibility of a career in healthcare. Why not you? WisCaregiver.com gets you started. Choose between 2 great options. Become a CDCP, Certified Direct Care Professional, or a CNA, Certified Nurse Aide. Training is free, plus earn a $500 bonus. It's easy to start your new career. Learn more at WisCaregiver.com.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. The Wolf of Wall Street was on the other day when I was flipping through channel. Great family film.
3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year.
I'm a naturally inquisitive person.
Holding everybody accountable.
If you feel better about that, I'm happy to do so.
Jason Wilde is on Kyle, Brust, and Nortman.
Joining us now on Kyle, Brust, and Nortman across ESPN Wisconsin is Jason Wilde. I was listening to Jason driving around. Wilde and Tausch 9 to noon across these very stations. Seated heater was what Mark Tauscher was saying about Matt LaFleur. Although I did like the heated seat. Is Matt LaFleur a 1 or 2 or 3 on the heated seat of your car? Jason, how are you?
I don't have heated seats, so I was very confused by that concept.
Yeah, I could. You and Jesse were like, "What's wrong with you?" You
How
said
do you live in Wisconsin with no heated seats?
It's actually
my dad told me I bought my car back when I was like 21. He said, "You got to get the winter heated package, Kyle," and I got it. And I thank him every time.
Yeah, I'm leasing right now from Boucher Automotive, and so I chose a less expensive vehicle to push through. So I'm willing to live with it. Paula's got heated seats. And really, that's all that matters.
So, Jason, the majority of our conversation has stemmed from what certain Packer players have said or what we've been able to play for the audience. I thought Tucker Kraft, what he shared, was very interesting. Is there anything that you learned that we might not have heard that would be great for our audience to hear?
Yeah, look, I know the Tucker Kraft line about how the last few games that they played, you could kind of feel what was brewing for them. Yeah, no blank. I mean, as much as Matt LaFleur wanted to tell us there's no such thing as momentum, there certainly was momentum last year, and then this year they didn't have any going in. You know, I thought it was interesting, even though this is kind of self-evident, you know, Javon Bullard was like, look, we can't keep talking about, and this is a rookie talking, you know, we can't keep talking about how we're a good team. Good teams beat good teams. You can't consider yourself to be one of those elite teams if you haven't beaten them. You know what I mean? Yes, Bull, I do know what you mean. Because you guys went 0-6 against the Lions, the Vikings, and the Eagles. So that was interesting. Keyshawn Nixon, you know, I spent about 10 minutes of our locker room time talking to him.
Oh, wow.
What's your takeaway from that?
Throwing his hat in the ring to be the number one corner, which,
did you laugh?
Let's be honest, he kind of was anyway without Jair. But I tried to get Jair. Obviously, he and I go pretty far back, so I thought I had a good chance of talking with him. And then some folks with cameras came up behind me, and we went from him saying, "Sure, I got time for you," to "I ain't talking." And then,
damn the media! Wait, they've ruined it for you?
I mean, they're trying to do their job.
I know,
but it was less than ideal. And then he goes off. I don't want to call it a rant here. I took notes though, because I turned off my iPhone recorder because I assumed he wasn't going to talk. But he said, "I don't even know if I'll be here next year." When one of the other TV folks wanted to ask him if he would talk, and then he said something about not wanting to talk because, and I wrote down, "You don't want to hear what I've got to say." And then he said, "I don't have anything good to say, so you definitely don't want to talk to me." So I think he's probably done in Green Bay, wouldn't you?
He almost, as Alex Drove pointed out, like almost answered the questions that we wanted him to answer without anyone asking him questions.
Yeah, it was very weird. It was just it was a thing. So, yeah, yep.
It's always a thing with him.
That's very fair.
Jason, we have played that Tucker Kraft audio a number of times, and one line that keeps on sticking out to me is that we all felt what was brewing. He's basically saying, you even mentioned that, like, you know, no crap kind of thing. Who does it fall on primarily to not only detect, but then redirect the team if that's what everybody is feeling in week 16, 17, 18 before this playoff game? Who does that fall on to make sure that that's not carried over into the playoffs? Because it clearly affected them.
Yeah, I mean, right, but they're responsible for it, right? Like the way they're playing. Like certainly the coaches are. By the way, I saw your guy J.J. Jansen driving around in a golf cart with Greg Olson on social media. Good to see J.J. still continuing to play and talking to the best color analyst on TV.
Mover and a shaker, J.J. Jansen.
Tom Brady. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it falls on everybody, but certainly it starts with the coaches. But maybe the reality was just they were never as good as they thought they were when things were going well, right? Like, maybe that was what was brewing. Like, their offense, at some point there's got to be, and LaFleur's talking tomorrow at 9. I'm going to go to that and have my questions ready for him before I join our show after he's done. But, like, the offense stumbled to the finish line. We all saw it. It didn't come as a big surprise. What they looked like. And so, you know, when I hear Tucker Kraft say that, you know, maybe they felt like the way they were playing, this was predictable. But I don't know if there's anybody to blame so much as, you know, this is what teams that aren't as good as other teams do. They turn the ball over. The quarterback throws 3 picks. They get penalties that hurt their cause offensively. They're not deep enough to survive injuries, right? Like the Elton Jenkins injury turned out to be, I don't want to say catastrophic, but who knows what their offense might have done had he not been injured. So they certainly would have been better than what they were. They wouldn't have had 4 penalties between Kadeem Telfort and Travis Glover. And then, we had somebody call this morning who took issue with the fact that they inserted tackles at guard. Well, Jordan Morgan's on IR, and clearly they didn't have faith in Jacob Monk because when Josh Myers got hurt late in the game, they didn't even put Jacob Monk in at center.
Oh, they ran him on the field. And then the timeout happened,
changed their mind.
Yeah, that's crazy. I've never seen poor Sean Ryan.
Or poor Jacob Monk. Hey, you're going in. Oh, wait. No, we forgot. You're not any good, so we're going to pull you back out. Now, look, I don't know what they're going to do at center next year because obviously Josh Myers is a free agent, and maybe they move Elton Jenkins, maybe they don't.
I saw something with Sean Ryan, Jason.
Maybe, but maybe it is Jacob Monk too, right? I mean, he basically took a redshirt season, and maybe he proves, the guy played a hell of a lot of college football. Maybe he's one of those kind of undersized centers like Scott Wells was, who he's not tall like Josh Myers. He's kind of squarely built, but he'll win getting the lower man wins, as they like to say. I don't know what they'll do there. To me, Josh Myers is the one guy that is headed into free agency that you're like, if I'm Goody, I'm thinking, well, I'd kind of like to keep him, but only at my number. The rest of those guys, Eric Stokes, maybe Brandon McManus, but, most of those guys you're willing to say, okay, well, thank you for your service, and we wish you luck in your future endeavors.
Jordan Love had an abysmal performance yesterday. Did Jordan Love improve at all this season to you?
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. Just because the results don't turn out to be what you want them to be, I think you definitely improve. He played 19 games as a rookie, and obviously he finished this, or not as a rookie, as a first-year starter, and obviously he finished the season playing his best football in the final 8 games, and including the playoffs. At the same time, he did not finish this season playing that way, but did he take certain steps in certain areas? Did he learn how to adjust his game when you're either playing with an injury or coming back from an injury? Did he test the boundaries of, okay, I'm a second-year guy. I don't have to do everything exactly like the playbook is designed for me to do. I'm going to try some different things. Did he learn from some interceptions he threw? All those things do make you better. Did he, Tausch's big question was, did he regress? And my argument was, I expected him to take a giant leap forward, and I think he took a very small step forward.
Not one giant step for mankind.
Right, or for quarterbacking, right? And so, again, he is still a 26, 27-year-old guy. He has been a starter for 2 years. The NFL, unlike last year, had an actual idea of how to defend him by having 19 games of film to look at and prepare for him. But, the offense struggled, and it wasn't just him. Josh Jacobs was great, but it felt to me like, they couldn't quite figure out how to take this really good running back who ran in a different style than Aaron Jones, who had obviously been the lead back for the entirety of Matt LaFleur's tenure before that. And they didn't really know how to marry that up to get the most out of the passing game. This stat that they had 3 play-action passes in the game yesterday is mind-boggling to me, because that is supposed to be the bedrock of this system. It's what allows Matt LaFleur to scheme guys open, is because those defenders have to pause for a split second because they're uncertain if it's a run or a pass based on the quarterback's footwork coming out from under center. So that, to me, is job one for Matt LaFleur and the offensive staff is, okay, we've got this stud running back who we love, but he likes to run out of the shotgun or the pistol, and he runs with a different running. He's better in a different running scheme or system than the outside zone that we used to run with Josh Jacobs. So what do I need to do as the coach to figure out a way to make those two things coexist effectively. And I just never got the sense that Matt LaFleur figured that out this year.
Yeah, I'm guessing when you said outside zone, you're meaning with Aaron Jones last year.
Yeah, they ran.
You'd said Josh Jacobs. I just wanted to confirm. Freudian slip there, I'm guessing. Because my biggest thing there, Jason, is like, again, you hit on it, but how do you fix it? Because I'm thinking to myself, this offense took another step, right? They were ascending. Then Aaron Jones went for 100 yards in, 4 straight games to end the season. The offense was able to take advantage of that. Are you pointing right now that you don't think they could figure out how to capitalize on what the workhorse Josh Jacobs was? Because, again, his job was supposedly to scheme guys open. They weren't winning these one-on-one battles we talked about. Like, it's just like, that to me is just a huge mystery, how to have such an ineffective pass game with just such a stud.
So the Aaron Jones outside zone that they ran, they had a host of play-action passes that looked just like the handoffs that Aaron Jones would get. And then they switched their system to a duo blocking system for Josh Jacobs, which was more suitable for his style. He also liked getting the ball in the pistol or in the shotgun. And so they were more in shotgun and pistol than they were last year. And so the play action, I don't know what you call it, the misdirection of, hey, we're handing off the ball to Josh Jacobs. No, psych! It's a fake. We're passing. Was not nearly as adept as it was in the previous system, which they had. Like I said, Aaron Jones had been the featured back for every year that Matt LaFleur had been the coach. So they really had that down to a science. Then by last year, when Jordan Love took over as the quarterback, they had a really well-constructed, very large house that they had built the run game and the play-action passing game upon that foundation. And suddenly now, they come in and the neighborhood has changed, and you got a new builder, and Matt LaFleur, the architect, didn't do a great job of figuring out, how do I get this running back, this new really, really good running back, as good if not better than the last running back? How do we get what he likes to do married up with how we like to fake the defense into thinking we're giving the running back the ball, but instead we're play action passing off of it? And I just never felt like they figured that out, even when things were going well.
Yeah, Jason, we appreciate the insights. A lot to talk about over the next 8 months or so until the next season. Look forward to chatting with you throughout.
All right, guys, take care. Be good.
That's
Thanks,
Jason Wilde.
Why'd you have to phrase it that way? 8 months.
Yeah, it's a long time.
That's a long time, man.
Very discouraged.
I didn't like. What you
Sorry,
said
I
that.
didn't even mean to do it. I was just stating a fact.
You'll be a married man by the time the Packers play again.
Wow.
Oh
Wow.
my God.
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow.
Don't take Phil's
I'm going to have a
advice.
panic attack. I'm just kidding. No, we're going to break and we'll be back with your calls.
How'd your engagement photos go?
I was a star. We hear from you, 800-990-3776. Next.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN.
Subarus, anybody in the Subaru driving down Fond du Lac or Capitol,
wow.
I'm like, you are not where you need to be driving that slow.
I mean, if we're being honest, it's always the Subaru.
It is always a Subaru.
And they likely have a lot of bumper stickers.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Southbound 41, still a bit heavy from just before Hampton all the way down past Capitol Drive. Got a couple of pockets of heavy traffic right past the stadium interchange on westbound 94. And we've got broken down vehicles southbound 43 on the ramp to get onto westbound 94. Off on the right shoulder, just something to keep in mind if you're heading through that area. Traffic is brought to you by Fisco Auto Body. Call Fisco Auto Body to help with all body repair needs. Fisco. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, clear and cold. A low of 4 at the lakefront, 1 below inland, with wind chill of 10 below to 20 below. And then tomorrow, mostly sunny, breezy, very cold, with a high of 16, wind chill of 0 to 20 below. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga, 94.5 ESPN.
Fingers come in different sizes.
It's one of the first things you learn as a jeweler.
And a ring can only be sized up or down a little bit.
Which means it's a really good thing to know your ring size.
And it's an even better thing to know their ring size.
This is why we're announcing
The Ring Size Registry at Kessler's.
we're doing it as a public service. It's completely free.
Free. Isn't that a great price?
Here's how it works.
Just drop into any Kessler's Diamonds location and tell one of the owners that you'd like to know your ring size.
Kessler's is an employee-owned company, so whoever greets you at the door is an owner.
They'll determine your ring sizes and add them to our ring size registry.
Then, when someone wants to know your ring size,
Because, maybe they want to surprise you.
all they have to do is call or stop into Kessler's.
Surprises can be fun, don't you think?
We're happy to do this for you, even if you don't buy a ring from us.
But after you take a look around, we think you probably will. Visit KesslersDiamonds.com for a location near you and register your ring sizes today.
Hey, it's ESPN Milwaukee's Kyle Walsh for Universal Windows Direct. Universal Windows Direct is offering an amazing deal right now. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free. That's right. For every 2 windows you buy, you'll get 2 more absolutely free with no limit and 36 months of no interest financing. Plus, if you've already received a quote from another company, bring it to Universal Windows Direct and they'll beat it. Schedule your free in-home estimate today or visit universalwindowsdirect.com, and like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Are you heading into the new year with the same old joint pain? Or maybe you experienced a new injury that gives you joint pain that is nagging you. Hey, this is ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman. There is no better time than the start of the year to refresh, renew, and say no to that joint pain. QC Kinetics is your go-to solution to get moving again in 2025. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine and joint preservation. They are right here in Greenfield and Mequon under the leadership of Medical Director Dr. Ashley Caravelli. When I visited the Greenfield location, QC Kinetics exposed me to a whole new world of regenerative medicine. So much in their toolkit to be able to get you your life back. They helped me, and they're going to help you with your own personalized journey to be able to make sure that you are starting 2025 back, active, and living a pain-free life. Call my friends at QC Kinetics for your free consultation. Call QC Kinetics today at 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Get charged up for big savings at Menards. We carry a variety of charging options for your cell phones and devices, from extreme cables to keep your day productive. They charge 2 times faster than standard cables and are available in Lightning to Type-C and in between. Plus, we've got both 4-foot and 10-foot lengths for your convenience. Now through January 26th. Pick one up for just $9.99.
Save big money at Menards.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Time to hit all of KBN Nation up on the wonderful Carbless talk and text line 800-990-3776. This is more. All of you that have been on a hold, we will get to you right away. It's Kyle, Brust, and Nortman across ESPN Wisconsin. Deep breath. I'm really sorry that I mentioned that 8-month thing. It's going to be 8 months until the Packers play again. But for now, we have now to react to. Who do you want first, Drof?
Let's start with this one just because I was blown away by the location. Let's go to Gerardo at Yale University.
Yale!
Oh,
Smarty pants. I got into Stanford.
Illegal.
Hey, good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
Good.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity. Yeah, as a Packers fan, I'm from Wisconsin, far away. I was just watching this at New Haven today. It's the first day of school. Honestly, from the previous interview, I think schematically, I know Josh Jacobs was better statistically than Aaron Jones was, compared to the second half of 2023. I do think they have to find a way to insert the passing game a little bit more. I do agree with the narratives at times about them having to have a number one receiver, that they can separate from the defender, especially within a cover one or a cover two. I could see Philadelphia was playing a lot of two-shell within that game, and that interception, the Devon, it's just mediocre. Like that's the best synopsis I could really give you. If you tell me to say it in one word. No, I don't think Jordan Love is a bust or anything, but there is a lot of cleanup. And I do think Matt LaFleur schematically has a lot of work to do.
Well, thank you, Yale, for the call. Yale University.
Do you have your thesaurus out on that one, Ben? We are cover one, cover two.
Two shell.
The
two shells.
Smart guy. Ivy League.
I was looking over call.
I was looking over at Brad, and he was in heaven.
I was like, this
Dork
guy
alert
knows his
time.
stuff.
Brad's
Let's
like,
go.
yeah, let's have a word off.
Yeah, linguistics, baby.
The thing that stuck out to me most in that call was what? He said, sometimes it looks like we need a number one. Sometimes.
Yeah.
I think it's now.
Yeah.
I think it's the evidence is clear now. As Tausch said on the Green Bay Game Day postgame show, the whole wide receiver by committee thing was cute, but it didn't work.
Nope.
Every time that I see a back cam, right? That sky cam can go from the back to what we're seeing what the quarterback sees. I'm not seeing any separation. It doesn't surprise me then when Jordan Love throws these potentially risky passes. And you're thinking, what are you doing? Well, what else is he supposed to do? He's got to throw the ball somewhere. They got to find a guy who can draw more coverage or get himself open because it tilts everything else. What they're doing right now just ain't working.
You know what we should compare this to is not the same, but the safety position, right? Like we were just getting by with Adrian Amos, we were getting by with Darnell Savage, we were getting by with guys being back there at safety, and then all of a sudden you bring in Xavier McKinney, like, oh wow, this is what that looks like, right? Oh, 8 interceptions by one guy, that's impressive. Once the Green Bay Packers finally bring in a real legitimate threat at wide receiver, everybody's going to have that, oh, wow moment. This is what that is. You can be this explosive. This is interesting. The Green Bay Packers are a receiver away from basically having their oh, wow moment on offense.
800-990-3776, the Carbless talking text line. Strofe, how are we going to the next one?
Let's spin the wheel, fellas.
Dante, Jake, Stevie, Mike, Sean, Marcus.
Lands on Dante in Virginia.
Dante, you're up on the Carbless talking text line. MLF, MLF, MLF. That's what I see here.
Hey, thank you guys, man, for having me on, man. But like we said, on to next year, man. But on to next year, we'll be having the same goddamn feeling this time of the year. Matt LaFleur is still the head coach.
Thank you for the call as we move on to Jake in Milwaukee. Jake, 800-990-3776.
Hey, guys, thanks for taking my call. Long-time caller, first-time listener. Question for you guys. With the draft and free agency, do you think they're going to go more offense or defense on that side? Do you think they're going to go more offense and defense in free agency in the draft?
Thank you, Jake. My wish that was really good.
That's good.
Jake has the tendency to spam call a lot, so I like the way he used long-time caller. I think first it's going to be cliche, and it's not going to happen. I want a wide receiver in the first round. We've been asking for years. It's not going to happen.
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 I'm not going to get my hopes up. They're going to rebuild this defense. There's a glaring hole at cornerback.
Yeah, cornerback,
wide receiver, first, second round. Go.
I'm with you. I just want you. I want to know if you know the last time the Packers drafted a wide receiver in the first round.
Me too.
Well, I know when Rodgers was talking about when they're going to potentially draft one, it had been like 20 years since they drafted a skill position player, not quarterback, so it'd have to go past Favre.
No, it was during Favre. It was 04.
You know the
Javon
name.
Walker.
Damn, you could have asked us.
Walker.
We wanted to play the game.
Stevie Sports Cards, you're up 800-990-3776 on the Carbless talking text line.
Hey, guys. Long time caller, first time listener. 20 years ago, if I would have heard myself saying this, it would have sounded ridiculous. But I called in earlier this year, and I talked about how I was frustrated with the amount of celebrating, right? Every time a guy catches a ball, it's here. I got a signal first down. All the premeditated stuff, all that. I know that doesn't necessarily impact them all the time, and that's the younger generation. However, I do think there is a dot to be connected there with the lack of focus. You saw it last week with the Bears. They were getting their butts kicked all game. Valentine picks off a ball. He fumbles. They seem to, and I know it might sound ridiculous, but I think that LaFleur has, he's a great coach, does a great job. I don't want him gone, but there is a discipline problem and a focus problem. And I think it caught up to him at the end here. And Brad said something earlier about the guys kind of just thinking, hey, we're all here, like we're having fun together. it makes sense, right? Because they are the youngest team in the league, and I know that's not, it's not paramount. But I want to throw that out there. It drives me nuts. I can't stand the celebrating the first down, all that stuff, and I know every team does it.
Stevie,
I think
I got something good for you.
In particular,
I got something really good for you. Brad Nortman wants to further the conversation on how he feels about the players with Matt LaFleur.
Yeah, Stevie, I'm right there with you, man. He is definitely Kyle Wallace when it comes to substitute teaching. Kyle, just 30 seconds. Describe your substitute teaching experience.
I was a substitute teacher with the Milwaukee Public Schools, fresh out of college. I was subbing, and I went into a kindergarten classroom, and I let the kids run all over me because I was being nice to them to start. The middle schoolers run all over me, nice to them at the start. And when I tried to reel it in, I would say, hey, stop it. What are you guys doing? They were acting crazy. I had no control of the classroom.
And that's exactly what Matt LaFleur's experience is. He tries to be player-friendly. He's buddies with all the players. I'm one of you guys. We're laughing, we're hugging, we're hanging out. But when it comes to discipline and focus and getting his guys ready to play, and when he needs to then redirect and correct their behavior, like when they're getting dumb penalties, it comes as toothless because they don't take him seriously. So he is the Kyle Wallace substitute teacher of Milwaukee Public Schools.
And I don't want to sound like Stevie, but I'm going to sound like Stevie. I still have flashbacks to last year when the Packers were getting trounced by the Vikings. Not this year, last year. And it was KJ Osborne, who had 4 catches for 70 yards on the opening drive of the second half for the Minnesota Vikings. KJ Osborne had an 8-yard gain for a first down. Jair hit him out of bounds. Keyshawn got a lick on him. They dapped each other up like they got to stop. And then he proceeded to go down and score a touchdown. KJ freaking Osborne. I don't even know where he's playing anymore. And that's the stuff. It's the little stuff that drives me nuts, and it's no surprise that today Keyshawn Nixon's saying, I don't want to be a kick returner. I want to be cornerback number 1.
I mean, delusional. For real, I don't think that kind of behavior and on-field things happen in Pittsburgh, in Baltimore, in Kansas City, in Detroit.
We know it don't.
It does not happen there.
AB is crazy. Antonio Brown is crazy. George Pickens is crazy. But when they in Pittsburgh, you know what they do? They reel it in. Matt LaFleur has no control and ability to reel in some of these crazies. And I hope that delusional Keyshawn Nixon take his behind Chicago where all the delusional players should be.
Well, how about, Brad, you give people winners?
I am going to give you
on some non-delusional players.
That's right. Then you can do that. You can be a winner with sleeper picks. I teased it earlier, and now's the grand reveal. Here is my already submitted sleeper pick for the weekend. Before I tell you my picks, here's how you can go about enjoying it. Download the Sleeper app today and pick more or less on at least 2 players on their projected stats. If you are right, you can win up to 100 times your money. And for a limited time, Sleeper has a special offer. New users will just play $5. That's it, a $5 play, and you'll receive $55 in free entries. Here's how you do it. Download the Sleeper app today and use code BRAD, B-R-A-D, Brad, and you'll get $55 in free entries when you play just $5. And here's mine. Here you go, boys. Ready for a winner? Justin Jefferson, over 6.5 receptions. Puka Nacua, over 7.5 receptions. Matt Stafford, less than a half of an interception. That $5 submission could yield me $23.05. Fade me, tail me, whatever you want to do, but enjoy it on Sleeper with code BRAD. Must be 18 years or older. Promo code, location, and other restrictions apply. Minimum deposit $25. See terms for detail. Please play responsibly. Call 1-800-426-2537 for help.
Dimitri in Milwaukee, I believe you are a teacher from our past calls. You're up on Kyle, Brust, and Nortman.
This is correct. Kyle, I am a first-year teacher in Milwaukee, so I can completely understand. I started the school year off trying to be buddy-buddy, and now at the end of the semester when kids want grades and I have to be hard on them, it's not so smooth sailing. So I totally get it.
Yeah, man. I never forget River Trail Elementary School. Them
little kids had Kyle on a spin zone.
You were getting bullied by 6-year-olds?
No, they were
the
crazy.
kindergartners were pouring water on his head.
They were crazy. The middle school, I'd never forget, it was 2 twin brothers, a calm one and a crazy one. The calm one was quiet until he went crazy. That boy threw a desk across the place. They made him mad. He threw the desk. I said, oh, my gosh, he just threw a desk.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman.
Giannis does look like a longer, he beats on his body, kind of plays so rough. You wonder about Shut up, Max. Yeah.
I'm not letting that one pass.
Yeah, I just realized beats on his body. Like I meant like physical.
I don't
man.
know what y'all talking about.
Physicality down
come
there.
on, Kyle.
No, you guys are. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure your minds are in the gutter. Grow up.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com. The Homer Hour with special guests every day from 5 to 6.
You still had a cigarette lighter in there?
No, we should all be dead.
An ashtray.
They have the station wagons where the people in the back were facing the other direction.
The Homer Hour with Homer.
The Packers got more money than God, so there's in the NFL. There's no shortage. Yes, we need fundamentally in the NFL, anything Detroit does, you just assume you can do it better.
Weekdays from 5 to 6, right here on 94.5 ESPN and streaming live on YouTube.
Dr. Aaron Holtebeck and his team at Holtebeck Eye Center make vision care a top priority with the latest technologies at their state-of-the-art Brookfield office. Dr. Holtebeck has been helping local patients with their eye care needs for over 20 years. And now, Holtebeck Eye Center is excited to add Dr. Nausheen Abbas to their team. Dr. Abbas is an ophthalmologist and cornea specialist that is now available to see patients. Located in Brookfield near the corner of Calhoun and Capitol, learn more about their services at holtebeck.com.
UW Credit Union presents the Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org. Here's Ashton Rotman with the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
This week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week is Racine Lutheran boys basketball player Sam Petroff. The 6'4" junior averaging 17.4 points per game this season, up a tick from his sophomore season, which saw him average just over 15 points a game. And of those games, a couple of big ones, back-to-back wins last week against Martin Luther and Dominican. 38 total points in those two games. The combo guard turning it over less than 2 times a game as well for the now 12-0 Racine Lutheran Crusaders. Petroff, as a sophomore, finished second team All-Metro Classic Conference and is looking to top that with his 2024-25 campaign. Congratulations to this week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, Racine Lutheran Crusaders boys basketball player Sam Petroff.
Winning in the NFL comes down to the basics, blocking and tackling. In retirement, the certainty of protection and income are the keys to success. And as a former NFL player myself, I have experience with both. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons. Having played on winning teams with the Steelers and Falcons, studying game films helped me mentally prepare for the challenges ahead. Now I star in a new Hollywood documentary called The Retirement Deception to help you visualize and prepare for your fourth quarter of life. You see, you don't retire on your nest egg, but rather the income it can produce. This film shows you exactly how to protect your retirement from stock market drops and produce more income than you thought possible. And it's free for you to view. Call 855-620-1801 right now for your free streaming code to watch The Retirement Deception. Don't risk your retirement savings at the goal line. You don't need to be risky to have a winning strategy. Call today to speak with an all-pro retirement specialist to get your free streaming code to watch The Retirement Deception. Call today. 855-620-1801. That's 855-620-1801. MitchLyonsWealth.com. Your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement.
American Family Insurance is a lot like Captain America. He protects the world.
It's just doing my job.
And we help protect your dreams with amazing auto and home coverage. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. And see Marvel Studios' Captain America: Brave New World.
Suit up. We need to move.
In theaters February 14th. This film is not yet rated.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
It started with a prediction.
We'll go out there and play basketball and win. And how many games? 6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Love stinks. Love stinks. Damn. I was just going to ask, did Jordan Love improve this year or not? Literally. But what doesn't stink is the Princeton Club. I had a wonderful breakfast with the great people of the Princeton Club this morning out in New Berlin. They have 8 locations in Madison, and hearing the plans and the upgrades that are coming for all the facilities, they continue to reinvest because they know when you look around that you're at a place you're working out where you're investing in yourself, so they're going to invest in you back. And that's what I felt when I've been there. The weights, the cardio, the workout classes, the personal training, basketball courts, tennis courts, swimming. They have it all. Free childcare with the membership. So get that good. I mean, you can't get it better right now. Lock in that rate for 2025 right now for your better tomorrow. Join the Princeton Club. All right. It's Jordan Love time. Did Jordan Love improve this season? Jason Wilde said marginally. Tausch was asking if he regressed. I'm curious what KBN Nation thinks. 800-990-3776. Damn Sports Show's next in Beaver Dam. Jim, Matt, and Molly in Madison. And we are here till 5 o'clock in 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Kyle, Brust, and Nortman.
She said, but it's too late.
Southbound 41 still heavy from Silver Spring all the way down past Capitol Drive. Eastbound 94, we're seeing backups, pretty hefty ones from about 76th Street all the way through the Stadium interchange to 27th. The westbound side's heavy from 25th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. And then southbound 43 will slow down right past Locust, back on the brakes from Fond du Lac down through the Marquette interchange. Traffic is brought to you by James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner. Dedicated to helping businesses do business better, visit jamesimaging.com. And check out the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Well, tonight, clear and cold, a low of 4 above at the lake, 1 below inland, and the wind chills will be 10 below to 20 below. Then tomorrow, mostly sunny, breezy, very cold, a high of 16 with a wind chill of 0 to 20 below. Weather is brought to you by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Join their 2-man scramble tournament and play Pebble Beach for a chance to win cash through the 31st. Sign up at wisconsinindoorgolfcenter.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Whether you're about to graduate high school or have been in the workforce for years, it's time to take control of your future. Welcome to Lakeland University, where you call the shots. We use our flexible learning formats to customize your degree path. In-person, online, and virtual classes are all available. Lakeland University is designed around you, your goals, your schedule, your future. You can even earn up to 25% of your degree via paid work experiences. Ready to take control of your future? Let us customize an education to fit your needs. Visit lakeland.edu/ESPN to learn more.
You love her twice as much today as the day you married her, right?
Welcome to Kessler's. Every child deserves a safe, loving, and permanent home. Help the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption find families for children who've lingered in foster care the longest. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
Tune in to KBN every day at 2 o'clock. Kyle, Brust, and Nortman. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. This is Kyle Brust.
How do you handle the rest of the postseason now?
I'm rooting for the AFC. I don't want nobody from the NFC to be happy.
At this point,
Not
I
even
think,
the
like at
not
this
even
point,
the commies.
What did I just say? The commies. You should be careful with that now.
The commies.
It's the Commanders, not the commies. We're the real
It's like
good
the
guys.
opposite.
Josh DiMaggio has bullied me into strictly calling them the commies.
No, that's terrible. Commies
Well,
stand
they
for
get-
communism.
they-
They're the Commanders.
they
They
get-
kill communism.
It's just the opposite.
They give you an inch, you take a mile, Kyle.
I feel as
That
if
rhymed.
it did actually. I feel as if the Lions, although they're in the division, I've been impressed with the story and how they've overcome injury, and they've been the best team in the NFL.
Yeah, I want a Lions-Bills Super Bowl. I feel like the Bills.
I think I'm on the Bills bandwagon.
The Bills are like the closest thing there is to the Packers in the AFC, with like fan vibes and smaller city and tough and fun, cold environment.
Tough?
Well, yeah. I mean, like, it's what the Packers strive to do.
Okay,
It's a little
okay.
bit tougher.
Yeah, I was on the Bills bandwagon until yesterday during the game. A Bills fan opened up his mouth in our group chat and said something slick about Packers fans. So at this point, I can't wait till the Ravens destroy the Bills.
There it is.
All it takes is one line of
you shut up.
Especially in a moment of emotional
you should
Packers
be
loss.
grateful to be in this chat. The fact that you gave your opinion and negative in that moment, I hope the Bills lose. I was cheering for them too, but go Lamar. I'm cheering for Lamar and Derrick Henry to get themselves rings.
Ben Brust, Kyle Wallace, Brad Nortman, Strofer on the show. UKBN Nation 800-990-3776. We're going to start with Tyson. The simple question is, did Jordan Love improve this season? And then we get the boys' reaction next.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on. Yeah, I think he did improve, but not enough to earn his coach's trust. So, what is that? It doesn't really matter if he can't call audibles and he can't be progressing as a professional, quarterback that's supposed to be a franchise guy. It makes me wonder what he didn't do that made the shackles go back on, because it feels like there was a lack of creativity.
Well, I can tell you when the shackles went on, and it was the interception issue. But when the shackles came off, it felt like he was maybe trying to middle it, and then he lost confidence in himself. I don't know. I think that's why we need to have this conversation. Bradley Nortman, longtime NFL punter, Super Bowl 50 runner-up. Did Jordan Love improve this season?
He did not improve. That's a big, fat no, guys. And I'm a Jordan Love guy, so it pains me to say this. But not only if you look statistically, which I'm not going to go in the depths of it, he basically did the exact same thing. Touchdowns, completing possessions, interceptions, quarterback rating, QBR. It's all just about exactly the same. Even win-loss record, if you include the playoffs, it's pretty similar. So basically the same guy as last year, but our eyes, guys, our eyes will tell us differently. Jordan Love stepped up big in the big moments last year. The big games, he stepped up big. Generally speaking, during that stretch of time of the second half of last season, we saw what Jordan Love is and can be. And we did not see glimpses of that this year. Last season, it was weighed with bad quarterback play and then great quarterback play. But he basically played the average of that all year this year. There was no great, and there was a lot of just okay, very average. So he did not only did he not improve, right? Statistically eye test, but if you're on your second year and you have a new contract to reflect what you should be slightly better. Even slight improvement, any kind of improvement would be par of the course. You expect to get better and better and better, and he didn't do that. My baseline
INTs was the same?
11
exact
INTs.
Same, yeah.
Wow. And when he played more games last season, if you think about that, so he had more interceptions per game. My par for the course for Jordan Love is improvement every year until he is consistently a top five quarterback. Guy. And he did not improve this year. So not only was he the same, by being the same, by default, that means he got worse for the par for the course in Brad Nortman's.
800-990-3776. Did Jordan Love improve this year in your eyes?
This is an undeniable no.
An undeniable no.
You cannot deny that this is a big, fat no from Jordan Love. And it's as easy as this. You talked about the eye test. You gave some great stats. I'm going to say this, and I'll give more. At the end of this season, will people be talking about Jordan Love being the guy they want to start a franchise with? Yes or no?
Might be some better options.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's going to be a no.
Last year, he was the darling.
Kyle.
He was the star boy. Everybody said, oh, my gosh, he's going to pop. So with that, Jordan Love didn't regress, but he did not improve. And the biggest indicator of that is the fact that Jordan Love had no big impactful wins today. There wasn't any game on this schedule, this roster, where he performed exceptionally against a really, really good football team. He never willed this team to a victory against any of the best competitive teams that they had. Yeah, he played well against Arizona. Yeah, he played well on Thanksgiving as well. But at the end of the day, we needed Jordan Well to play exceptional in the biggest moments, and he failed to do that. I understand he was coming off injury in multiple games. He got hurt in multiple games against good teams, but he did not perform at a level in order to allow for the Green Bay Packers to play well and win those big games. The reason why you went 0-6 against the top teams ahead of you is because your quarterback did not raise his level of play to a superstar level when you most needed it. So did he take that next step? Did he improve? Absolutely not.
800-990-3776 on the Carbless Talk and Text line. K-Walk chimes in. Loyal. Want to throw this out here for you. Played through a torn ligament in his knee, a groin injury, and an elbow injury. He had the most drop passes in the NFL. No pass for your guy?
No, not at all. Not at all. The receivers last year didn't know how to run routes. Everybody has to elevate their level of play. And I'm not going to make excuses for Jordan Love. All right, it's the leader of the locker room in Jordan Love that needs to look those receivers in the eye and say, get better. He tried to say it a couple weeks ago, wanted guys to be accountable, make sure you get open, but it had no results that showed on the football field. When he opened up his mouth and was negative, it's not like the guy said, let me shape up. If Aaron Rodgers, who we all like Aaron Rodgers, he's annoying now, if Aaron Rodgers said the same thing, them dudes knew exactly what they need to do. Instead, it looks like Tucker Kraft is a guy that stated the obvious. This team wasn't ready to go. He saw the writing on the wall. And so Jordan Love not only needs to get better on the football field, but he also needs to get better as a leader off the football field for this team to actually capitalize on the window that we thought was open going for the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, that window was closed this year.
Oh, the first two that I see as soon as I turn my head, I didn't even read them. I just saw the name. What name popped up in the text? Malik Willis. Now, the only thing that I'll say that was frustrating, that we've discussed a little bit, is watching the offense thrive with creativity with Malik Willis. Now, is Malik Willis a starter in the start of the Green Bay Packers? Absolutely not. But it's confusing to me that they were able to find success despite who the opponent, that Matt LaFleur was able to cook something up. Matt LaFleur is getting all the praise. Love goes down. You take the 7th round pick that you traded for that the Titans didn't want, and he came, and obviously Josh Jacobs had a monster game against the Colts. In his revenge game against the Titans, he made some throws that you're like, oh, that's good. But at no point is Malik Willis going to be the quarterback moving forward. I just can't figure out why they were able to find such offensive rhythm with a guy that came in such a short time. And they had Josh Jacobs for the whole season and couldn't figure out a way to develop a passing game with one of the lead rushers in the NFL. I do want to hear again, for those who've missed it, earlier today, Tucker Kraft said this. If you're still reeling about the Green Bay Packers loss, in a weird way, this might make you feel better about it, because this was Tucker Kraft talking to the media, cleaning out his locker.
The whole last few games that we played, you could kind of feel what was brewing for us.
Feel what was brewing for us.
It's frustrating that nobody stepped in. Nobody stepped in to change and redirect it. I'm looking at Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love. Like, they are in it more so than anybody else.
Yeah, and they've been there the longest.
And they've been there, and their voice carries the most weight. So why didn't anybody redirect it? Why didn't anybody hold them to a higher standard? Why wasn't Jordan Love saying this even a couple weeks ago? Maybe they wanted to keep it in-house, but for there to be a stench in the locker room that was affecting everybody, that was obvious, and there was no redirection, it makes no sense. And when it comes to Jordan Love, I think what's most frustrating is that his entire career is characterized by growth, right? When he came into the NFL, he was raw. I mean, raw. But every year he got better, and even last season, characterized by growth. Started struggling, ended really good. So you anticipate the growth to keep going. When that growth stops, you get concerned because you're saying to yourself, did we hit a ceiling? Is there no more growth to be had? Jordan Love needs to rediscover that growth this offseason in order for this whole team to continue to move forward.
Yeah, from my stance in terms of when I asked it out loud, right? Like, did Jordan Love improve this season? It's hard for me to say yes, because as I think back, I felt like all year I kept asking when we would do a Friday show, like, all right, this is going to be the game that Jordan Love's going to take the team on his back. And it just never happened. And I don't know if it's a byproduct of just what this team was. And clearly it was a microcosm of what they were over the last 3 weeks. Is a lack of passing game. Jordan Love, 63 yards at halftime against the Vikings, not looking sharp in the one quarter he played before injury against the Bears. And the 3 interceptions that he thrown, and one of which was really, really bad to Zach Bond. And it just like the last 3 games, better be the motivation, because all I heard last year was I'm never going to let the San Francisco 49ers NFC Championship game or divisional game pick ever happen again. There's a lot to grow from, as Brad said, but
some new ones this time.
Yeah, there's new ones. It's don't do what you did against the Niners, and now figure out how to change. And it's Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love together. But Jordan Love has to play better despite all the circumstances.
Yeah, in the face of adversity, this team folded this year. That's just what it comes down to. It truly folded, right? And Jordan Love, I hope he takes a lot of learning lessons, not only with the poor decision-making that he had in the playoff games, but also understanding what a leader is, right? And he probably understands a lot better now why Aaron Rodgers was so tough on wide receivers. Because when you're not tough on these wide receivers and you don't set the expectations is you need to run the route right, or I'm not even going to throw you the ball. I'm not even going to look in your direction. If you don't know how to run the route, I'm not going to look in your direction, because that motivates guys to have to get better. Last year was nice and all. Yeah, you get together. You got to figure it out. But this should have been the year where it's like, y'all need to get it together. Dropping these passes. Hey, listen, you going to drop it? I'm not looking at you. Forget that. Hey, bro, keep your head. No, bumps that. Hey, bro, drop the ball again. You're not going to get it. I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm going to throw somebody. Put in Bo Melton. Put in Malik Heath. Put in somebody else, because they need to understand they need to be held accountable, because what we saw this year was lackluster from this receiving core and from, unfortunately, Jordan Love not taking the next step.
And this is why that Jordan Love and Tucker Kraft conversation come together, because the question is, who's that strong voice? Who is that strong voice in the Green Bay Packers that when they talk, everybody listens and they say, "Oh, okay, we got to get our stuff together."
Who was that guy for you when you played?
It was Steve Smith and it was Ron Rivera, and then after that, it was Luke Kuechly,
the
and Thomas
head
Davis.
coach.
It was so Steve Smith as a player, and then Luke Kuechly and Thomas Davis.
What do you think the
and then
players
Ron
are
Rivera.
like when LaFleur gets all serious with them? I know it's hard to speak.
I think it's taken with a grain of salt. When Rivera spoke, man, this dude is a former player. He's still built. He was tough. We listened. But LaFleur, I don't know. I think it's taken with a grain of salt.
You got to sometimes, listen, I'm not a parent yet, right? But I am a firm believer, and sometimes people need to have a little fear of you, right? You need to fear, not that they're going to do something bad to me, but fear that if you disappoint somebody, or you're going to get in trouble, or if you don't do what you're supposed to do, something can be taken away from you. This game of football is a privilege for them to be able to play. And Matt LaFleur needs to make it clear. If you do not live up to the things that we need you to, we're going to take this away from you. And I wholeheartedly believe they should have took Keyshawn Nixon out the game after he threw Jalen Hurts down to the ground for a 15-yard penalty. They should have took him out the game, because I'd rather lose with disciplined football players than lose with loose cannons who cause us yards and also fumble. So that is the lesson he needs to learn, is that forget the dudes that are undisciplined, kick them to the curb. We want disciplined football players that are going to play their butts off for us.
I think they like Matt LaFleur. I think they respect Matt LaFleur. I don't think they have a healthy fear of Matt LaFleur.
I'm starting to get Mickey Mouse. Matty Mouse is here to coach the team. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
You can do it. I'm not going to stop.
It's just weird. Normally when I go Matty Mouse, you're like, hey, stop that.
No, has anybody texted you to tell you to stop today?
No, not today.
I'm telling you, nobody's going to tell you to stop, because his last couple performances have been terrible, right?
Mm-hmm.
Vikings game to Chicago Bears game, now to this playoff game. His offense have been bad. His quarterback has been average, and his overall teams have been victoryless.
And very penalty-filled and undisciplined.
Oh my gosh, the personal foul is just never gonna.
I still can't get over that.
Both of them were bad. Like, both of them are stupid. Like you. Yes, the game is probably over, but you're playing for something, right? You're still playing hard, and to have those stupid penalties like that, it's a terrible time for it. That comes down to the fact that you as a coach do not have a team that's disciplined to understand the moment. They don't understand the moment. But you guess what? So, when they see their coach jumping up and down on the sidelines,
you mentioned
whining, crying, doing all that, stop doing the wave. There's a reflection of him.
So you mentioned the coach. And the coach has been the conversation, obviously. Goody's gotten some blame, but the majority of this has been Matt LaFleur. All of the callers, all the texters, everyone on YouTube, it all seems to come back to the theme of, like, who is Matt LaFleur, what is the identity, and how does he get this team to not perform in a game where it's like, this is a playoff game. You can't have your team playing bad 17-18 and then go into a wild card game and show up like they did from a performance standpoint.
But they are who we thought they were.
If Matt LaFleur goes 11-6 and loses the wild card game, Kyle, would you have him back? Don't give me your answer. We'll be back with his answer.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN.
My offer, as we've come up with it at KBN, thanks to JD and Fondy, reutilizing Judy, who is still in my garage right now.
Is she a big booty Judy, or a little flapjack booty Judy?
She's got a little something to her. I'll say that.
Oh, she got some
Judy the blow-up doll. She got a little something to her.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Southbound on 41, backups right now from just south of Hampton all the way down past Capitol Drive. Eastbound 94, we're looking at delays coming in from 76th Street all the way through the Stadium interchange to 27th. The westbound side slow from 25th to Mitchell Boulevard. Southbound 43, watch for backups right through the Marquette. And check the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight. Clear and cold. A low of 4 at the lake, 1 below inland, and wind chills anywhere from 10 below to 20 below. Then tomorrow, mostly sunny, breezy, very cold, a high of 16 with a wind chill of 0 to 20 below. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga, 94.5 ESPN.
All day, every day. The Carbless talk and text line is open for you.
First off, there is not one team that's on the fringe that scares me.
800-990-3776. The Carbless talk and text line. This is more.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit fighting to save lives, protect our climate, and strengthen our economy through the shift to zero emissions. Visit us at earthjustice.org. Earth Justice, because the earth needs a good lawyer.
Ready for a win? Well, it's your year. At Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, you could win over $2,000 in free play every month all year long. Just play your favorite games and you might take the stage in the It's Your Year game show. 25 winners each Thursday. There's $300,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs this January. Yeah, we think it's your year. More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 years old to play.
Great Midwest Bank has document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems, a 100% locally owned and managed business technology company. The bank's IT systems administrator, Michael Quizon, comments on the value of local.
We call on them at any point, they're there. We ask them any questions that we have, they're there.
James Imaging Systems, local business technology solutions, local support, local accountability. Luther Gray, Director of Ticket Operations and Group Sales for the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra.
If an issue does arise, they're very prompt, polite, and professional. It makes me feel empowered because I find it very easy to resolve something.
James Imaging Systems client, Al Leidinger, President of Matheson Manufacturing, summarized the benefit of local.
James Imaging has been a really good partner with us from the beginning.
Go with local. Go with James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com.
Ready to tackle your home improvement project this winter? Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help you score big with quality home exterior and shower upgrades. As a 5-time President's Club Award winner, Exterior Pros is not playing around. With flexible financing, it's never been easier to invest in your home without breaking the bank. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation today.
Men's wedding bands made from whiskey barrels and meteorites.
Welcome to Kessler's.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
It's 2025, and that means a new year and a new you. And QC Kinetics will help make you a new you with your ability to get rid of that joint pain that has been nothing but bothering you in 2024. That's right, QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine and joint preservation. With their help, you will be able to do the things you want to do with a long-term solution, not a short-term fix, but a long-term solution. No steroids, no drugs, no surgery. QC Kinetics is the future of medicine using an array of natural solutions like PRP and stem cells and so many other things like plasma to be able to get you rid of your pain from injury or arthritis. So if you're hearing this and you have pain in your knees, your hips, your shoulders, or your back, it's a sign that 2025 could be the year of healing with QC Kinetics. Call them today for a free consultation. Call QC Kinetics at 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
On Twitter at KBN ESPN. Did Jordan Love improve this year? Very simply put. 81% say no. And Jason Wilde joined us. If you missed Jason Wilde, go back to Wisconsin On Demand or watch back on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee. He made it seem like he improved, but he also wasn't convincing me that he made a big step. So there's probably, 20% of the people here that are saying no that are frustrated. And if we were to ask this again in a week, they'd say, overall, he improved.
I think what's frustrating about Jordan Love's year is he never had that top-end game. That game that you were describing, Ben, where it's like, you know what? We're going to see it. We're going to see that all-pro version of Jordan Love.
Wait. You mean like the
Oh, wow.
game?
The oh, wow game. We were waiting on that all year, but every start seemed to be plagued by something, whether it be a boneheaded throw that leads to an interception or just something.
Coming off of injury.
Exactly. So we know it's in there for Jordan Love, but the longer the back end of 2023 gets, the easier it is to forget. And the more the new games, like all of 24, weighs more heavily on your brain. Jordan Love is going to have to get back in the business of winning back the trust of Green Bay Packer fans. I think no one questions he's quarterback one. But if he's going to, again...
There's probably 5% that want Malik Willis to start.
Well, if he's going to be put again in the same sentence as Favre and Rodgers, he needs to be on a campaign in 2025 to ball out.
Yeah, he didn't take any step towards continuing to be in that conversation with Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers at all this year. I mean, the way that he played yesterday, 3 interceptions. 3 interceptions in a playoff game. I understand.
You sound really sad.
Well, because, as I'm thinking about this, I understand you lost your starting guard. I understand you didn't have Christian Watson going into the game. Jaden Reed goes down. Romeo Doubs goes down. I understand that. But the thing that told me the most is the ball to Malik Heath on the sideline to try to get the first down. It was a bad pass. Malik did the best he could to try to get his feet in bounds, but it was a bad pass by Jordan Love. Jordan, you cannot make that type of throw. You understand that you don't have your best guys there. If your best guys aren't there, you need to put the other guys who are newer, fresher, in a big moment in the best position to be successful. You, Jordan Love, failed at doing that yesterday, and that should be concerning that our quarterback, who we need to put the game on his shoulders, went 0 for 3. Yes, 0 touchdowns and 3 interceptions in a playoff game where your defense did more than enough to get you to win. Do y'all realize Packer
fans would be asking over the last 10 years, defense do its job, offense will take care of it. Yeah. We got that.
But do y'all realize the Packers started on defense in the second half, and so often we've seen the Packers start on defense in the second half, and the lead that the other team has grows. The defense made the stop. They gave the offense many opportunities, but they squandered it, and they did not take advantage of it. And this is why we're sitting at home today. And again, 8-month layoff from football.
Ouch. This is tough to defend. I see what people are trying to do here. Tom Brady had 3 interceptions in a playoff game and still won. No one says he sucks.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, touchdown passes,
We're not
too.
doing that.
And he also won 7.
The thing about Jordan Love is, he's a rhythm quarterback. When he is not in rhythm, it's ugly. It is ugly. Nothing can get going. But when he's in rhythm, it is beautiful. It seems like Matt LaFleur was never consistently able to get him in rhythm. That's why it falls on both of them. And Matt LaFleur, he has enough experience and enough knowledge to know these are the scenarios that Jordan Love is comfortable. This is what I have to do in the first quarter to get him going. Forget rhythm in a game in general. He rarely started with rhythm. That is when you have most control of your play calling. You're the first 15 script. Almost never Jordan Love started in rhythm. He found it later. How can Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love not establish a first 15 that get him into rhythm? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Tyrone in Milwaukee, 800-990-3776. Has Jordan Love improved in your eyes?
Oh, man, you hit me with that one. I had something else for you.
You go with whatever you're hot on, Tyrone.
Well, I won't say he's really improved. I won't say he's digressed much either. But he's somebody mentioned it yesterday. He's not gonna. I don't know. He's got a long way to go to reach the potential of both Favre and Rodgers. But he's a young man. It's a young man's game. But you're still doing things that some high school guys really haven't done over the years. You've got to show your signs of progression, most certainly. So I kind of answer it that way, and we'll kind of look and see what the draft has to offer us. But I just wanted to say, blessings and welcome to the new year to all of you, Kyle, all of you, Strove, everybody. But, look here, first and goal from the 1, a double reverse would have got you in. Even if he couldn't have ran it in himself. I mean, a double reverse, the defense would have been suckered in going the other way. You double reverse it back, you're in.
That's a lot of movement.
That's a play that could have been ran. There's a guy coming out from Arizona State, Cam Scatterboo, man. The guy is another invention of Earl Campbell. Get that guy in a couple of the pictures.
Cam Scatterboo.
Scatterboo. Let it roll off your lips. Scatterboo.
Give Scatterboo.
I mean, we got to draft Scatterboo.
Scatterboo.
Let it roll off your lips.
Gotta have Scatterboo. He's a gamer.
I just want to give some context to this phone call from Tyrone. So I answer the phone, as I always do. I said, KBN, what's her name, where you're calling from? He goes, Strofe, baby boy, welcome to the new year. You got to know the voice. I go, I don't know the voice. Who is it? He said, it's Tyrone from Milwaukee. You got to know the voice. I said, Tyrone, when's the last time you called me? How am I supposed to know your voice? He goes,
it's been a while.
All right, happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. He goes, give me a minute and I'll go away. I said, okay, all you.
Scatterboo.
Wow, powerful.
So has Jordan Love improved? How did we get into a double reverse there?
Yeah, where does that come from?
I think maybe when the Packers got to the goal line and ended up kicking a field goal, we didn't score a touchdown in that one drive, I believe it was. Probably, maybe he was thinking
we should have ran the Philly special on Philly.
I thought the only time they were on the 1 yard line, Jacobs ran it in.
Yeah, that Jacobs, but then they were on the.
Was there
I'm thinking
fourth and one? Or?
I don't know. I'm thinking about when they got to like the 6 or something like that, or 7.
Scatterboo.
How about those Kraft tush pushes? Those were fun.
Those were fun.
It's smart. Take your quarterback out of harm's way. You
High
practice.
school quarterback.
Tucker Kraft?
Yeah.
All right. He's comfortable down there.
Right.
Nice and cozy.
He was.
Sit up.
Were those the only plays they ran out of the eye? Every other snap, I feel like, was out of shotgun.
Or the pistol.
A lot of shotgun.
Jason made a great, interesting point.
No, everyone. There was a lot of comments after we had Jason as I kind of pushed him further. I was like, help me understand Aaron Jones, the zone run to the outside, how we were able to take advantage of his 100-yard-plus rushing games down the stretch. And we got Jacobs with 8 guys stacking the box. I see 8 guys. The old freeze. When you say it, Brad, they said freeze the film.
Yep.
How many guys are in the picture? 8 guys every time on Jacobs. How can you not take advantage of it?
And I think that really Matt LaFleur is supposed to be able to evaluate that. And I understand that what Jason said was Jordan Love has practiced in a certain scheme, the zone running scheme, his entire career. It got switched up this year. It is Matt LaFleur's job, Jordan Love's job, to figure out how to get him comfortable and more in rhythm with this new duo blocking scheme that they had with Josh Jacobs. And it's a shame that they had an 18-game season and they never were able to figure it out and let Jordan Love get comfortable. And I think that might be one of the biggest things why he couldn't get that rhythm. And we talk about Malik Willis looking more comfortable in the offense because he was probably just out there, hey, I'm learning all this stuff new. Whereas Jordan Love, he never felt ever this season that he was comfortable in a rhythm for the majority of the game.
KBN Nation responds, and it's getting worse for Jordan Love. Did Jordan Love improve this year? Only 15% say yes. 85% say no. So despite us trying to bring some counter arguments, not really working out on the Twitter sphere. Kyle, tell us what you've been doing around your home recently.
Oh, yes. Shout out to my boy Jay for coming on out and doing the window consultation. I'm telling y'all this right now. If you are thinking about getting new windows, call my friends at Universal Windows Direct because I don't want you to have a cold, drafty home right now. If your windows are old and outdated, call them at Universal Windows Direct. And what I love about them is the fact that there's no pressure whatsoever. They're just there to give you a consultation. They're there to look at your windows and show you their great products. And I promise you, after they show you the great product, you'll say, maybe we should go this way. So give them a call today at 414-410-2000 for your free in-home estimate. And always remember, when you work with Universal Windows Direct, when you buy 2 windows, you get 2 free. Yes, every 2 windows you buy, you get 2 more. And with that, you also get 36 months of no interest financing. That's 3 years to pay for your windows without a single cent of interest. And you know what I love? They also have this. If you've already received a quote from another company, bring it to Universal Windows Direct and they'll beat it. Yep, they will beat the other quote that you have because that's their commitment to giving you the best quality and value for your home. Call them today at 414-410-2000 or visit them at universalwindowsdirect.com. And like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Alex Strofe hosted from 12 to 2 today. Produced Kyle, Brust, and Nortman. Hopefully he's got some energy mustered up for a little becoming relevant before the former Packer, Brian Belaga, breaks the game down with us next.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN.
And I'm sure he'll offer this opportunity again.
Absolutely
What are you going to
not.
sell? What are you going to say to Ben Brust?
I'm saying you don't get your hand on my god dang face. No. It's a no. I can say it in different languages. No, no, no.
Niche or whatever it is.
I don't know.
Nine.
Nine. That's a firm way to say no.
Nine. Next time we say nine.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Southbound 41, still heavy from about Hampton all the way down past Capitol Drive. Back on the brace heading through the hail on to 894 eastbound. So be careful with that. We've got eastbound 94 slowing down just east of 84th Street through the stadium interchange to 27th. Westbound slowing down from about 20th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. And still seeing some delays heading through the Marquette on 43 southbound as you're making your way past Kilbourne all the way down and over the high-rise bridge. And check the TMJ4 Storm King forecast tonight. Clear and cold, low of 4 at the lakefront, 1 below inland with the wind chill of 10 below to 20 below. Then tomorrow, mostly sunny, breezy, very cold, a high of 16 with a wind chill of 0 to 20 below. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Belaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Kevin Moret for Mentality. Guys, carrying extra weight around your midsection doesn't just make you feel bad, it changes how people see you. It makes you look tired, stuck, and feel like you've given up. But it's not you. Low testosterone is often the real problem. Most new Mentality clients start with only 1/3 of the free testosterone they need, which makes fat almost impossible to lose. Our doctors fix the imbalance and use semaglutide to burn the belly fat while keeping you lean and strong. Take back control this year. Visit mentalityhealth.com/radio for our New Year offer. That's mentalityhealth.com/radio.
Do you want to have more fun watching the NFL playoffs? Try playing Sleeper Picks. Just download the Sleeper app today and pick more or less on at least 2 players' projected stats. You can win up to 100 times your cash. For a limited time, Sleeper has a special offer. New users have to just play $5 and they'll receive $55 in free entries. Just download the Sleeper app today and use code BRAD, B-R-A-D. Must be 18 years or older. Promo code, location, and other restrictions apply. Minimum deposit $25. See terms of use for details. Please play responsibly. Call 1-800-426-2537 for help.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Evan Cohen, Chris Canty, and Michelle Smallman.
Jaden Daniels is the best quarterback in the 2024 draft class, and it's not too early to call it, and I don't think it's particularly close. This is not to say that Caleb Williams or Bo Nix, Drake May, Michael Penix, or J.J. McCarthy won't be good, but they just won't be Jaden Daniels. Aside from May, no rookie quarterback had a worse situation that they stepped into than Jaden Daniels. The Commanders have been a dysfunctional franchise for decades on end, and they haven't won a playoff game in 20 years until now. Jaden Daniels is one of 4 rookies to win a road playoff game. The other 3, Joe Flacco, Mark Sanchez, Russell Wilson. As you may recall, 2 of the 3 have won Super Bowls, and the other guy that didn't win a Super Bowl got to back-to-back conference championship games. That's the company that Jaden Daniels is keeping.
Something amazing is happening in networking. Organizations are scaling with less stress. That's because CDW is designing and implementing intelligent HPE Aruba networking solutions that simplify and secure operations. With automation at the center of your data center, growing pains can be a thing of the past. HPE Aruba Networking and CDW. Make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/Aruba.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
What would you guess the number one name guest in our program is today?
Ask the question again.
What would you guess the number one mentioned name in our program was today?
Matt LaFleur.
Tucker Kraft.
Probably Maddie.
Matt LaFleur.
Then Jordan Love, then Tucker Kraft. Then Goody?
Probably about right, yeah.
Then Ben Brust, Kyle Wallace, Brad Nortman, and Alex Strofe, because we are Kyle, Brust, and Nortman. 800-990-3776 is the Carbless talking text line. Less is more, but
I
it's
can't
time
believe
now.
How disappointed I am in Jordan Love. Hearing that song just made me. Usually, when I hear songs like that, I start dancing and thinking of Jordan Love. Now, when I think of Jordan Love, I'm like, damn, he disappointed me.
It'll be 8 months of disappointment, Kyle.
It will be. Yeah.
When will you get over this, or will you ever?
Goody needs to make a splash.
What is a splash?
Sign a wide receiver, sign a cornerback, sign a really good, legitimate rush in. Something that makes me say, all right, now, we got him some weapons, or the defense is going to be improved.
All three or just one?
All three would be a miracle.
So you're going to be living in a state of, like, depression or, not depression, but,
You've got 2 months
distaste?
until free agency, bro.
That's 2 months away.
Oh, you got 8 weeks of hell from me.
Oh, boy.
Blame LaFleur.
Let's hear from Mr. Positive.
Hey, Mr. Irrelevant. It's time to become relevant. Strofe's time to shine on KBN starts now.
Most positive thing you could say about the Green Bay Packers. Go.
They made the playoffs again. They improved their wins by 2. They won 2 more games than last year.
Are you happy about it?
I am not underwhelmed. That was my question today on Mr. Relevant. Was this season underwhelming?
You know what he's doing right now, Kyle? Kissing over to the Green Bay Packers Pro Shop.
That's right. Man, bump that Pro Shop. They can keep whatever, the winter one and all that.
I was wearing my cheese head until about halftime yesterday.
Mix up the juju.
Excuse me, not my cheese head, my customized cheese head that says Strofe on the back.
I don't even want it.
Where's the dick outfit?
Well, we were working on a day for all of us to pay off our bets because rumor has it a couple of us need to get Brazilian waxes.
Oh, yeah, me and Kyle do. Brad, you got to do it too.
What?
Yeah, Brad, come on.
We're a team.
Now, here's the issue I'm having with that, and we can talk about this off the air, but the issue I'm having with it is I don't trust you guys being on the radio while getting your privates.
No.
Want the pre-recorded. Because I imagine there's going to be a few expletives.
We
dropped.
tried it with Brian D before. Yeah, he did well, but Brian D has much more sense than myself and Ben.
Okay, fair enough. All right, let's start here, fellas. The Cowboys, once again, can't get out of their own way as they have decided not to continue negotiations with their head coach, Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy will take interviews later this week with the Chicago Bears and the New Orleans Saints, searching for his next opportunity. His tenure in Dallas is over. I don't want Mike McCarthy to go to Chicago. That is a huge fear of mine for multiple reasons. Number one, he's a Green Bay legend, and I don't want to hate him 365 days out of the year, 366 on leap year.
He's basically Mike McCarthy's the Mike Holmgren for him that Mike Holmgren was to us. That's why he said he's a legend.
The street right outside of Lambeau Field is Mike McCarthy.
Oh, he's a great coach, but the way you look at him is the same way we look at Holmgren.
Yeah.
And if he goes to Chicago, they're going to have some stability at their head coaching position, which scares me.
But they don't have stability anywhere else.
They don't.
That's the key.
I feel like if anybody can bring it, it's a Super Bowl winning head coach.
Nah, yeah,
his best days are behind.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, Dak.
Yeah.
Dak was really good, and even with Dak, what's the furthest they made it?
Wait, hold on. Dak was not really good until Mike McCarthy got there.
I know, but my point is, while he was a coach, Dak was really good with them.
Correct.
And
He's an MVP candidate. Why are you looking at
They
that?
still
Dak
didn't
was good
do
before he
anything
got there.
He wasn't as good as he was under Mike McCarthy.
We're splitting hairs. All I'm saying is, even with a really good quarterback who signed a $60 million contract before this year, last year was the year, they pooped the bed.
Last year was the year and they pooped the bed. But they were the 2 seed. They were a really good team last year. Up until that Packers game, they were undefeated at home. I just don't want him in Chicago. He can go have that New Orleans
I think it's
job.
kind of irrelevant to me. I get the whole wouldn't want to root against him, but going to have to. But he's not like the candidate that's out there that scares the hell out of me.
Who is?
Obviously, it's Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
Ben Johnson's
The wild
prove
card.
I don't care. The fact that he has that much creativity and was able to turn Jared Goff into what a next level of Jared Goff would be is like telling me that he can take somebody who has talent and put the pieces around him and make them successful.
What's equally scary is he witnessed a franchise literally go from dead to alive under Dan Campbell. So he can just rewrite that playbook. I mean, no one's Dan Campbell, but nobody could turn around the Lions. And he was a part of that turnaround. So he can take his offensive brilliance plus a game plan on how to turn around a franchise. I don't know. I don't like that at all.
McCarthy walked into Favre Rodgers.
Walked into is a little strong. He went 4-12 the year he came.
You get what I'm saying here.
They were still a good
better organization
football team.
and franchise versus.
Okay, so we
Bears.
are completely underrating Mike McCarthy.
No, we're not.
I think we're properly rating Mike
He
McCarthy.
lasted 5 seasons.
Who's a
in
better
Dallas
head coach,
and he
Sean
wasn't
Payton
in
or Mike McCarthy?
Oh, Sean
Payton.
Yeah, you're all wrong.
What? Are you serious?
We completely
This
underrate
is
Mike
the little
McCarthy.
this is the little
McCarthy
kid.
couldn't do in Denver what Sean Payton just did.
Yes, he could.
No, he couldn't. No, he couldn't.
No
and,
shot.
and the thing that worries me
And
is
I
I
don't
think he's
even
going to
like
go
Sean
do it in
Payton.
Chicago.
No,
I don't like Sean Payton at all.
So what did Mike McCarthy do in the last 5 years that make you say, "Oh, he's going to turn them into a
Made the
championship"?
playoffs, 4 of them.
Okay, but did he win a championship?
Did they even go to an NFC championship game?
No.
No.
I think he might have
Sean
won one
Payton, by
playoff
the way,
game.
has only been to one NFC championship.
And he won
Two,
a Super Bowl
actually,
too in that one. Two NFC championship games in the Super Bowl.
McCarthy's been to more NFC championship games and won a Super Bowl.
Oh my gosh, you love.
No,
Mike McCarthy.
you guys are not the only ones that have had this conversation with.
He's
completely
on the back
underrated.
end. He's on the back end.
Probably, but he's still got
Go ahead,
plenty of time left.
take our sloppy thirds.
I mean, I hope your pessimism towards Mike McCarthy's future is correct if he ends up in Chicago.
Is he the most feared coach for you to go to Chicago?
No, but he might be up there.
Nah,
he's the last. To answer your question,
Mike
differently than you asked
Tomlin
it,
to the Bears would actually scare me.
Yes, me too. Agreed.
Yeah.
He'd whip the whole.
Either of the Mikes.
Yeah.
Mike and Mike. If they end up in Chicago, we're screwed.
Yeah, the only problem is they wouldn't win either because he ain't gonna fix nobody offense.
True. All right, let's go to this.
They'll go 9-8.
Divisional round mostly set. We've got one game left tonight between the Vikings and the Rams. Ravens will visit the Bills. The Commanders will visit the Lions. The Texans will visit the Chiefs. The winner of the game tonight between the Rams and the Vikings goes to Philadelphia. Ticket prices are out. Hear this out. Lowest ticket price of any of the 4 games. $125 to get into Texans Chiefs. Highest ticket price? Commanders at Lions. Cheapest ticket? $515 for a divisional round.
They've been saving up all their money because they didn't have to buy tickets for 30 years.
Yeah.
2 desperate franchises, too. I bet you there's some Washington folks making their way up.
Oh, yeah. That is 2 desperate teams for a chance to go to an NFC championship game.
Just to see success.
Right.
Yeah.
But Ravens-Bills by a metric mile
is the best game of the weekend.
Such a good game.
Who are you rooting for?
I don't know. I love Lamar and I love Josh
Me
Allen.
too.
I want them both to do well.
Yeah, I agree with that. Those are 2
Kyle?
really likable teams.
Yeah, the Bills fan ruined that for me. Go Lamar.
Go Lamar.
I wish that was the AFC Championship game, but oh well.
All right, per Potawatomi Sportsbook, I can pull up the odds even without doing it real quick because I'm going to talk about them. If you had to place your money there, who would you pick to win the championship? Go.
Ravens.
Of all the teams remaining?
Yep.
Chiefs until proven otherwise.
I'm with Brad.
There it is. If you are interested in our opinions and want to put the money to it, you know where to go. It's Potawatomi Casino Hotel in the heart of downtown. Head out there and check out the 2,000 square foot video wall. The food is amazing. I'll be there for the weekly wager on Wednesday from 6 to 7 on this very station. They have everything you need. 20-minute reserved parking spaces if you need to get in and out. You can use your rewards card to place a bet. Reward points will be earned along the way. Bet above the rest and build your bets at paysbig.com/sportsbook. Potawatomi Casino Hotel in the brand new sportsbook. Brian Belaga, former Packer, should have a lot to say about this one.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman.
Thing has ever happened to you from a breakup?
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh no!
I don't want to talk about it.
You brought it, so I had to ask.
I ain't gonna put my old shorties on blast. But
why not? They're old shows.
I've had some
old shows.
My parents listen to this show. I don't want my parents to know the craziness that I've dealt with that they son been a part of.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com. The best source for every piece of NFL news you need to know.
That's the idea of a deal. Each side gets wins, right? They have Jordan Love under contract for the next 5 years.
ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter is on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy every Wednesday morning at 7:30. Sponsored by Island Resort and Casino.
I think Packers fans would sign up for 12-5 today, and maybe they will be.
Right here on 94.5 ESPN and also streaming live on the Wisconsin On Demand app and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Look what I found.
What is it?
It's a list of the traditional and modern anniversary gifts for each year of marriage.
Sarah and I use a different list.
But go ahead and tell us about yours.
The traditional gift for your first anniversary is paper, but the modern gift is a clock.
Well, our list says the first anniversary is always diamond jewelry.
What's your list called?
The People's Choice.
The traditional gift for your 6th anniversary is iron, but the modern gift is wood.
What a coincidence. For the 6th anniversary, our list says diamonds again.
What do you have for the 10th anniversary, Rick?
Traditional is aluminum, modern is diamond jewelry.
Well, there you go. Our lists agree.
What have you got for the 7th anniversary?
Copper and a desk set.
Nope. Diamonds again.
I'm beginning to see the wisdom of the People's Choice list.
It's good to have you on board.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
Did you make up that People's Choice list, or is it real?
Well, we're people, aren't we?
Find the Kesslers nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
You're back at the gym. Your new gym outfit? On point. Your new sneakers? Baller. You've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with Access Checking. It's maintenance fee-free with no minimum balance requirements. So when you take your first yoga class in 10 months, your body might surprise you, but your checking account won't. You've got this with Access Checking from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Winning in the NFL comes down to the basics, blocking and tackling. In retirement, the certainty of protection and income are the keys to success. And as a former NFL player myself, I have experience with both. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons. Having played on winning teams with the Steelers and Falcons, studying game films helped me mentally prepare for the challenges ahead. Now I star in a new Hollywood documentary called The Retirement Deception to help you visualize and prepare for your 4th quarter of life. You see, you don't retire on your nest egg, but rather the income it can produce. This film shows you exactly how to protect your retirement from stock market drops and produce more income than you thought possible. And it's free for you to view. Call 855-620-1801 right now for your free streaming code to watch The Retirement Deception. Don't risk your retirement savings at the goal line. You don't need to be risky to have a winning strategy. Call today to speak with an all-pro retirement specialist to get your free streaming code to watch The Retirement Deception. Call today. 855-620-1801. That's 855-620-1801. MitchLyonsWealth.com. Your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Kyle Walsh for Universal Windows Direct. Right now, buy 2 windows and get 2 free. There is no limit and no payments for 3 whole years. Restrictions apply. If you already have a price quote, they'll beat it. Schedule your free in-home estimate today.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
I've got some famous friends you probably never heard.
Joining us now before the Homer Hour is Brian Belaga, the former Packer. Man, my brain is really, really burnt, but I do want to play Tucker Kraft for Brian Belaga. You were in a locker room, Brian. First and foremost, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys doing? Doing okay today? Kyle, you all right?
Yeah, I'm glad you checked on Kyle.
Thanks for checking on me. I'm not okay, but I'm trying to put on a face right now.
All right.
I found this piece of audio interesting from Tucker Kraft, and you can. Do you have the full?
I have the full or the short, whatever you want, Ben.
Let's give him the Foley.
The whole last few games that we played, it just, you could kind of feel what was brewing for us. We just didn't finish. I wouldn't necessarily say that the season was a failure. We learned a lot about some of the individuals on our team and how these players can impact the future of this building. Yeah, as a team, we need to wake up. I mean, how many times do we have to just, not everyone talks about how we're just not okay with just making the playoffs, but we have yet to, walk the walk.
That Tucker Kraft cleaning out his locker. The thing that stuck out to me earlier was what was brewing, and then he's saying "wake the bleep up" sort of thing. But the season's over. What do you take from that?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of it reveals that what the message that was being said when that was going on, when they were losing, wasn't what the feeling was in the building. If we kind of remember what was being said, I think, what Jordan Love said, which, hey, that's what he's supposed to say at the time. But he said, who cares? That we lost a couple going into it doesn't matter at this point. But that stuff does matter. And guys feel that, they feel that momentum. They feel what's happening as you start to lose games and you're not playing well going into the tournament. There was a momentum shift in the building, and guys felt that. It's very apparent when you're in there and things aren't going your way and you're putting performances out like that. And then when you're watching it too, right? Like, if you don't play a great game against Minnesota, it's understandable. They're a really good team. You're in their building, right? Like, okay, yeah, it's a tough game. Things, okay, sure. We'll let you slide on that. But then to do what you did against Chicago, that's a red flag. Like, that is a glaring red flag that something is going on there, right? And LaFleur said it about the sloppiness. He said it in his pre-game press conference or pre-game presser with the guys that called the game in that Chicago game. I just want to see a clean game. Well, it's the furthest thing from it. And then you take that and go into the playoffs, and that kind of just carried right along with them, and they were never able to shake it. And what Kraft did, kind of hold his tongue on, which I'm, good for him as well. You found out a lot about guys, whether it was good or bad throughout this season, right? Whether good, bad, or indifferent, you found out about the guys in the locker room, and probably most likely through the last few weeks, you found out about guys. And that's something that may be the most positive thing for the guys that are the culture guys in that locker room moving forward, to figure out who are the guys that you can count on and that will have your back and that you can, rally behind, are going to be your core guys moving forward.
Yeah, I took that as clarity from a positive standpoint. Obviously, it's not good that he's kind of giving us the inside track to what we were all feeling. We were hoping this wasn't the case, but at least it provides clarity as to what he feels as Brian Belaga joins us here on Kyle, Brust, and Nortman.
So Tucker Kraft felt that shift in momentum, right? Matt LaFleur publicly said momentum doesn't matter. Why is it that as the head coach or Jordan Love as the leading quarterback of this football team, why is it that they couldn't do anything to stop some of the things that may have been happening in the locker room we did not know about?
Well, I mean, I'm going to tell you this. They're certainly not going to come out and say, yeah, the momentum's changing in the locker room. That's certainly not a message they're going to portray out to us and let everyone know that there's something there's a, I wouldn't say it's a down in confidence and guys are struggling to regain form and confidence, but that's just not a message you want out there, right? And you want to try
internally, right? What about internally?
Oh, internally, listen, you can do as much as you possibly can, right? And try to uplift these guys and support them within the locker room and within practice and give positive reinforcement. But at the end of the day, it's the performances on the practice field. What are you putting on tape when you're at practice? And then ultimately, what do you do when you step between the white lines on Sunday? And that is the thing that gives you confidence, is what you do when you go out there on Sunday. And that's why I kept saying that game against the Bears was a big deal. You are playing for something, you're playing for confidence. And that was the performance you got. And then you go to Philly, and that's kind of what happened. So, I know people were trying to, this game doesn't matter. Who cares? All right, I understand in the big scheme of things it doesn't matter. But for individuals, going out there and having a good day and playing well, that carries something into the next week. And you could tell me I'm wrong, but I'm looking at the correlation between what happened in Chicago and what happened in Philly.
The
performances, yeah, they looked very similar, but we just played a way better team in Philly. We'll just put it that way.
Brian, in your opinion, did Jordan Love improve this season?
Well, I mean, I don't think you could say he improved, right? And here's the thing, obviously his numbers weren't the same as last year. I think he was asked to not carry as much as the carry as much of the load as he did last year, right? You have Jacobs, and Jacobs carried the ball a ton, and he was relied on to do a bunch, which, hey, you bring in a really, really good back, and that guy impressed the hell out of me last night. I'm just saying, like, what an absolute stud that guy is.
Nobody followed him. Nobody else followed him with the toughness is what drove me nuts.
Oh, I just absolutely. I mean, that guy. I mean, I can't even say enough about him. Like, that was so impressive to watch him as that game was going on, and nothing looked good besides him. Like, that was impressive. But I think that it was just one of those years where year two hit a little plateau, and he just never got going. And you know, I don't think he played bad. I don't think he played great. I think he just kind of plateaued at a level of playing, you know, solid, and that's where he was. And I think he has a lot more to grow and play better, and I think he will. It's just that's where he's at right now.
Well, Strofe was lucky he got time with Brian Belaga. We were lucky with our 10 minutes, but Homer's got an hour with him. I could go all day with Brian. We appreciate the insight.
All right, guys, take it easy.
That's Brian Belaga, former Packer tackle. He's going to have a lot to share with our guy Homer in 2 minutes.